Like this. Hit it.
The Roger Report live morning show. Weekdays at 9 a.m.
Say y'all, I was on Roger's panel a few times and I couldn't take it. The heat. I got out the kitchen. It was hot. I was sweating. I had to get out.
He's Roger, and he's right.
Check this out.
We can live or die. You choose. I have spoken to you a lot of times in hatred and anger, and you have not heard me. Well, you had better hear me today. If you won't listen to me when I make an appeal for the Negroes because you have no concern for the Negroes, listen to me when I make an appeal for America. You claim you love America. Well, we love America. But you are driving us back and you are making a Samson out of us, and we are going to pull down the pillars. And then you think we have no right to ask for something? Is it too much to ask you to grant us human dignity? Should we be put down and shot to death for this request? If so, you can aim your guns. What the hell do you think we care about dying if you're going to deny us the right to live?
Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Roger Report Live, the best show on social media. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and take a moment out to hit that like button, because this is where you're going to find the best content on social media, and you don't have to worry about it because you're going to have me right here to make sure that happens. And if you already been coming to the channel for a while, then go ahead, hit that like button, because you already know what time it is. And you know that this is where you're going to get the best content on social media. It's not a mystery to you at this point. You've seen other people do it. You've seen other people do it well. But what you have not seen is anyone do it quite the way I do it. So make sure you hit that like button. And everyone, yes, everyone, take a moment out, share the content, y'all. There are so many people who need to get great content like this, and it's just a small thing you can do to help the world be a better place. And isn't that what we want at the end of the day? Don't we want the world to be a better place? Of course we do. So share the content now. Share it through your social media, share it through word of mouth, or even text someone's phone. But do what you got to do to help spread the word. All right, folks, today we are back and we have another edition of a great series that I do because I like it myself. It's a great series that I do called, and a very appropriate title, okay? Unsupervised white people, y'all. Unsupervised white people. Yep, that's where we hit today, y'all. We're doing another edition of Unsupervised White People. Should be a great edition with what we have going on today, y'all. There's 3 links in the description for those who don't know how to go down over here at the Roger Report Live. On any given day, you want to make sure you check the description so you can see what everyone is referring to. And you know, it's a lot of fun provided sometimes, y'all. A lot of fun that is provided sometimes with these links. So today's episode, y'all, unsupervised white people, and I'm sorry, y'all. This is funny to me. This is funny to me. Okay, there's a lot of funny parts to this to me on this particular episode. But we're doing. Ashley said the quiet part out loud, y'all. Shout out to Ashley. She said the quiet part out loud. All right. Now, before we get into this, let me say shout out to everybody. I appreciate everybody who has been consistently watching the channel because the views, of course, help. You know, and of course, you put a great product out there. You want people to see it. So shout out to everybody who are my consistent viewers. Appreciate y'all big time. Appreciate y'all big time. Shout out to everybody who hits that like button because it is a very big deal to hit the like button. And now you can hype up a content creator. So shout out to everybody who also hypes me up every chance they get. Appreciate that as well. Shout out to everybody who makes comments after streams. That helps with the algorithm as well. And I definitely appreciate it big time. And that's just real talk. Also, I got to say, shout out to the people who go above and beyond the call of duty, the people who become financial contributors at the Roger Report Live. And I'm trying to make sure I let everybody know, big or small, I do appreciate it all. Thank you to everybody who's ever made a financial contribution at the Roger Report Live. And I want to say shout out to Archie Lucky 7. He is the sponsor of today's stream. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you, my brother. I definitely appreciate the support. Okay, y'all. And for those who are looking for the super chat, y'all, I'm working on it. That's all I can tell y'all at this point. I'm working on it. They'll give it to me when they give it to me. But I am working on it. Okay. So it ain't me holding up the program. Not that I can tell. Okay. I'm working on it. Okay. All right. Let me also give a couple shout outs to some of the first people to check in this morning, because it's always great that when you start a show that you see people checking in with you. Always a good feeling to know people out there and ready to dive into whatever you're about to present to them. So shout out to y'all know how it goes around here. There can only be one. And today it happens to be Bruce Owen Wayne. He is what we like to call around here the Highlander of today's stream. So shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you. Appreciate you big time. Appreciate you big time. And that's real talk. Okay. I want to also say shout out to okay. I'm gonna say shout out to the artist formerly known as Kevin 3905. The Great Black Reset is in the building. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you. Hey, I digs that, brother. I digs that. Real talk, real talk. Okay. Shout out also to the person who helps us keep a little bit of order around here. My bad. Shout out to Chef Mike's Round Table. And Chef, I did see your request. I definitely will get that worked on right away. So shout out to you, my brother. And thank you for what you do. Shout out to my main man, also involved with the pit crew. Mr. Suge to you is in the building. Good to have you, my brother. Good to have you. We got my main man, Trail Bentley, in the house representing as he always does. Hashtag long live the habitual line steppers. Hashtag Negroes in the wilderness. Hashtag dignity over vagina. Hashtag Al Gore's babies. Hashtag hell Hydra. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you. Okay. Shout out to all my hoes to monetize. What's going on, my brother? Shout out to you. Glad to see you. Real talk. Glad to see you. My main man, Floyd Thompson, is here. What's happening, Floyd? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. The Righteous Teacher is in the building. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you. We got my main man, Red Pill Sleeper Cell, in the house. Great to see you. Great to see you. Superstar Jay Quick is in the house. What's going on, my brother? What's going on? Shout out to Inspired Truth Broadcast. We got I'm Listening in the building. Afro Merchant is here. We got Mr. GQ Smooth in the house. Great to see you. Great to see you. We got my main man, the Nameless Protagonist, is in the building. Always great to have you, brother. Always great to have you. White Skin Man Cave is here. What's up, my brother? What's up? Glad to see you. Shout out to Lee's Ways is in the house. Shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you, y'all. And we're going to get into it, y'all. And I said I'm going to continue to try to make sure I show some positive things going on with Black American men, because for some reason people need to be reminded that we the greatest people that this country has to offer, y'all. We are the top of the list. So I'm gonna say shout out to the Wayans family, y'all. Shout out to the Wayans family. As you can see, there's a link in there talking about this code that they have developed. Okay. And I think this code says a lot. And I'm paying attention to what they saying in this little clip. I think they are definitely being chivalrous. I do believe they're definitely being chivalrous because the females never came up, which tells me what? Okay. They let the females sit down. Okay, chivalrous thing to do. Nothing wrong with it at the end of the day. Okay, when there are seats available, the women will always get a seat. When it comes to the men of the family, okay, you will sit in order of birthright. Okay, yes, y'all. A lot of people forget about birthright. You sit in the order of birthright. Okay, when you're the older person, you get to sit. The younger persons get up for you. Hey, sometimes it's good to be the oldest one. Okay. Sometimes it's good to be the oldest one. But this teaches levels of respect that have far more to do with just sitting in the seat. Okay. So I got to say, shout out to the Wayans family for developing that code. Okay. And I would say, y'all, that is a great code to start teaching other young folks. Tell this to your kids, tell this to your grandkids. See if you can implement this in the family. That's going to clear up a lot of stuff. So shout out to the Wayans brother. It may seem like a small thing, but that's a very strong way to present a code amongst the family and to present a code amongst the people. That's a very strong way to do something. We got to remember, y'all, little things make big things happen. And that's just the way it goes, y'all. Little things make big things happen. And that's real talk. Okay. If you want to put together a nice skyscraper, okay, yeah, sure, you're gonna use some big tools, but you got to do a lot of small things to get that big thing to appear. And that's just the way it go. All right. Now, y'all, this is gonna be another edition of Unsupervised White People. And I threw one in, y'all, because I think sometimes black people forget how white people will look at other white people. Because if you're not at a quote unquote certain level, they don't look at you as nothing either. Okay. Which I think is very much illustrated when you had a young man who happened to work for Sonic. Okay. And what was he doing? I mean, the white people who mess with him, some cops, they looked at him and said, hey, like, bro, what's going on with you? Like, you a little too old. I mean, that's what my interpretation is. You a little too old to be working at Sonic. Okay. You are here working with these infidels, okay, at fast food. You a little too old for this, man. You white. What is going on with you? How can you subjugate yourself to this as a white man in this great American country? Okay, this America, man. You working with what the dude say? Scum of the universe. And you did y'all see how he said that? You working with the scum of the universe? Now, y'all gonna have to ask yourself a question because we didn't see it in the video. All right, we didn't see it in the video. He said you're working with the scum of the universe. Sounds to me like he's implying that particular gentleman, okay, even though he's white, even though he's scruffy, he's not necessarily the scum of the universe. He said you're working with the scum of the universe. Okay. So he's not saying the white guy's in a good position, but he's definitely implying, if you ask me, there is some folks in there that may not be white. That's that's what I'm gonna say, y'all. It's some folks in there that may not be white. Okay. And these non-white people, in his mind, you know, they're scum of the universe. Now you can say it's just black people if you want to. See, this is what I call the nice thing about assumption. I know a lot of people say don't make assumptions because what it can make you. But see, this is the thing. See, if I'm in a position where I have to make an assumption, I can make the assumption that's most comfortable for me. I can make the assumption that I like to make. I can make the assumption as worse as possible, depending upon what I want to do with the assumption. I can make the assumption the funniest scenario that I could come up with. It's all about what I want to do with the information, because you left it up to me to make an assumption. Okay? If you don't want me to make an assumption, don't leave it up to me. Give me the information that I need where I cannot make an assumption in that scenario, because I go where I want to go with it sometimes. For my own entertainment pleasure sometimes for the audience entertainment pleasure, whatever I want to do at that time. Hey, you left it up to me to make that assumption. So I see this white guy who I believe these gentlemen say, hey, look, white guy, you just a little too old to be working at sign. You ain't doing nothing. And y'all heard it. Y'all heard that your own ear. Well, you heard it come into your own ears. Bro, what you doing with the white privilege, man? You in America. You got white privilege. What you doing with it? Okay, what is you doing with the white privilege? Okay. Good question. Okay, good question. What is he doing with the white privilege? Because when the man say, I got a baby on the way, I got my girl and the baby on the way, and you working at Sonic, maybe he needs to do something with that white privilege. But see, this is the thing, y'all. It ain't like people don't know what's going on out here. It ain't like people don't know. They're saying, man, why ain't you using your white privilege to your benefit? Why are you working at Sonic? And I'm not saying Sonic ain't a fine institution to work at, because Sonic, if y'all hear me and y'all got a check, I promote Sonic on a regular basis. Okay? Sonic is a fine institution. But in their minds, those officers' minds, they don't believe Sonic is a fine institution. They ain't got nothing to do with me. They don't believe that Sonic is a fine institution. And I just interpret it as they think dude is just a little too old to work there. He's probably working with some quote unquote non-black people. Okay. And those non-black people are scum of the universe. Now, is it probably black people? More than likely. For him to make those statements, it probably is more than likely some black people over there, and it's probably some black men in the mix. Okay? Because he say scum of the universe. Now, could he mean other minorities? Yeah, they could mean some Indian folk. They could mean that. I can't tell you 100% for sure. But, for you other non-blacks and non-whites, I can't say that y'all ain't included. Okay? He could be talking about some Asian people. Who knows? Okay? They didn't give us the information in the clip. We can go on what we got to go on. But in their minds, this white guy is just a little too good to be working with whoever that scum of the universe is. Okay? That's how they see people, y'all. These are people that's supposed to maintain the law. Well, this how they see people. Ain't that good? Ain't that interesting? Okay? Well, I ain't gonna say it's good. It's good for us to see that that's what's going on. Okay? It's good for us to see. And I always take into a grain of salt. Stuff could be skits and things like that. I don't think that one was, because you got officers in uniform. That one didn't necessarily come across as one to me. That just came across as white guys being stupid. And I'm gonna say this again. It's not that difficult to find a job situation where you see overqualified white people. That does happen. Okay. Now, the only people I can really 100% for see that you will never find who are, I said overqualified. I meant underqualified. There's white people who have hold positions. They're underqualified, and you can kind of see it through the work that they do. The only people that I will say who are not underqualified is black men. You can't consistently see underqualified black men because they will fire you. Okay, as a black man, if you're underqualified, they just gonna let you go. Yeah. Now, can you see an underqualified black man at some particular point? Sure, maybe you see one day. Come back in the next month or two, he won't be there anymore. That's just the way it go. As black men, we got to be qualified or overqualified to maintain any position. Okay. Other people, you may see somebody who's a little underqualified. Now, there's a second link that I believe what the juice is, right? What the meat is for today. Even got her name in the title, y'all. Ashley got her name in the title. Shout out to Ashley, y'all. Shout out to Ashley. Okay. Ashley is a fine young representative of American white women. A shout out to Ashley, okay? All right. Shout out to Trail Bill. He said, "No, Roger, it was a skit. Check the cop uniform shoes. Also, the voice of the screen is in numerous similar skills of cops misbehaving." Oh, he probably been skipped, so cop misbehaving. Okay, so it probably is a skit. I'm gonna say that, y'all. When you because I did mean to check that. You need to look at them uniforms and stuff real good when you see these videos, because there are people who are just manufacturing videos. I had peeped that. I've even peeped certain actors, y'all. There are certain actors who come up in certain skips, and there's been some people who suggested me to do this or do that, and I'm like, no, that's fake, because I've started to recognize the actors that are putting up the skits. Okay, so we're gonna ignore that one. But you know what? That was like a quick throw in anyway, because to me, that wasn't to me. It's really about Ashley today, y'all. It's really gonna be about Ashley. So the other one don't really make much of a difference to me anyway. So shout out to you, Trey Bentley, for peeping game. Shout out to you. That was like a quick throw in that I did because I didn't want it to be Ashley by herself. But guess what, y'all? It's about to be Ashley by herself. And you know what? I'm just gonna have to get over that. I'm just gonna have to get over that it's gonna be Ashley by herself. Okay, Ashley gonna have to take all the heat today, y'all. So we gonna ignore that other video, y'all. We gonna let Ashley take all the heat by herself. I can live with it. Okay, I can live with that, and that's real talk, y'all. I can live with that. So Ashley was in a perfect situation. Well, what did we have, y'all? What did we get with Ashley, y'all? We literally got another unsupervised white person, okay? It so happens to be a white woman. And, there is a crazy part to this because she was seriously hating on some black woman, okay? She don't like Veronica, y'all. Ashley don't like Veronica. Now, I know there's some things to be said about black women, y'all. There are some things to be said about black women, but I'm going to say in this particular scenario, Veronica is not on the hook at all. Okay, Veronica is not on the hook at all. Ashley don't like Veronica, and I totally get that. What did Veronica do? Veronica ain't did nothing for Ashley to start acting this way that we can tell. Okay, now I'm going to say, based on what happened, we know Ashley must have had an issue with Veronica for some period of time, okay? Ashley must have had an issue with Veronica for some period of time. Now, I have said before, y'all, racism was not really aimed at black women. And people may say, well, this is a situation where it really is aimed at black women and it's doing something to them. Now, I mean, Veronica's still in the position, y'all. Veronica is the CEO, okay? People can have personal issues going on, but Veronica's still the CEO of the company. I didn't see where racism was really hurting her in any kind of way. I'm just going to say that. I am not saying black women cannot be hurt by racism, but they're usually going to be hurt in connection to a black man. Veronica still is a CEO. Okay, so she good. She good. Ashley, though, and now we take everything the narrator said is true. Okay, and I'm accepting it for purposes of today's show. I'm accepting what the narrator is saying. Ashley, may have been jealous of Veronica for a good long time, and she has some legitimate reasons. She has some illegitimate reasons. Her thing is, hey, I've been here. I've been rocking with this company. It's a good company. We making big waves. Okay. They said the company ain't been in business. I think they said about 4 years. So less than 4 years, they got a few hundred employees. They handling their business. They making some headway out there in the world. And when you were with a company and you kind of there from the beginning, I could understand how you think you're qualified to do this and qualified to do that. And I want to work myself up through the ranks and all that good stuff. And Ashley clearly was doing that, because Ashley wasn't just a nobody. Ashley is in a promoted position. Ashley got some weight behind her name. Ashley has done everything she needed to do to be looked at as good people that can be in charge of stuff. Because that's what Ashley was doing. She is a good white woman who could be in charge of stuff. Ashley had a whole team she wanted to say goodbye to. Whole team. And Ashley goes to a meeting, y'all. Okay? Now, the meetings are done through Zoom. All right? Okay? A lot of folks can get on Zoom at the same time, so I can understand why people. I personally don't really. Well, I ain't gonna even say nothing about that. But I understand. I mean, Zoom's a good thing to use in business. I'll say that Zoom is a good thing to use in business. Okay, you can get hundreds of people on there, y'all. Hundreds of people on there. And today was another day that they had hundreds of people on there. Now we got to do business, right? Okay, COVID done made some things change. I mean, they are a technology company. Of course, they're going to use some technology to get their day-to-day things done. Even these meetings that come up ever so often, the whole team, the whole company basically got to get on the meeting. They are recorded. If you somehow cannot make the meeting, it is recorded so you can go back to the meeting and see everything that was said on the meeting, because this meeting is extremely important, y'all. How many companies have a meeting that everybody got to go to? Okay, so that's the importance of these meetings. Now, this particular meeting did not conduct business the way it was going to conduct business because of Ashley, okay? Because of Ashley. Ashley made the plans change a wee bit, okay? There were some things that the company was going to go over that they clearly just didn't get to go over because Ashley was out here doing her thing, okay? Ashley wanted folks, well, according to Ashley, she didn't necessarily want folks, but in her mind, she wanted people to deal with what time it is. Okay? I'm tired of Veronica. Veronica, she wanted them niggas at the end of the day. Now, the guy said African American in the video. Okay. But when that piece got played, there was some bleep. So I don't think Ashley said African American. I don't think she said African American. I think Ashley said what was on her heart. Okay. I'm tired of these niggas. Okay. I am tired of these niggas. Why is this nigga in charge? Okay. That's, and if that's not the words that came out of mouth, y'all, I'm gonna tell you that's what I heard with my third ear, y'all. Sometimes you got to listen to things with your third ear. I heard Ashley, right? My third ear heard her. I'm tired of working for these niggas. I've been at this company basically since the beginning. I done put in all this work. I done smiled in all the right faces. I done presented myself the right way. I am a white woman. Okay. I am a white woman. Why are they not promoting me where I need to be promoted? Okay, cool. I got some promotions, but I'm not the CEO. But they brought in this nigger woman to be a CEO. Why would they pick a nigger woman to be? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the hard ER that I heard with the third ear, y'all. That third ear can pick up stuff that other times, you don't really catch it. But that third ear is strong. Okay, why is this nigger woman in charge? Why didn't I get that promotion? What is wrong with them? Okay? What is wrong with them? I got beef with the entire company. And that's why I'm going to complain. Even though I know I'm going to this meeting where the whole company gonna be there, the whole team gonna be there. But I got to get this off my chest before we start. I got to get now. I assume the meeting started at 10 o'clock, y'all. That's my assumption because the dude said Ashley pulled up at 9:58. So I assume that this was a 10 o'clock meeting. Okay, that makes sense to me. And Ashley had a few things to get off her chest, and Ashley let it rip. But I'm gonna chill right now because I got my first guest up today. I'm gonna go ahead and let him get the mic, and we gonna make it all about Ashley today. I tried to throw in something real quick, y'all. But hey, they be making skits, and I didn't examine it like I should have. I'm being honest, y'all. It was a quick throw in, but it is what it is. We on Ashley here today. It's just gonna be what it's gonna be. Ashley can handle it, y'all. Ashley had just excuse me. Ashley had just purchased a vacation home. Okay, she had put the money down on the vacation home, so Ashley can handle all this. Okay, she'll be all right. She will be all right. All right, so niggas with vaginas. Wow. You have some interesting name choices, but I'm gonna say that is a heck of a name that pretty much matches what I've seen going on in this particular video. Niggas with vaginas, you got the flow, my brother. You got the flow.
Oh, happy Wednesday, Roger. Can you hear me? I hate when I'm inspired.
All right, can y'all hear him? Because I don't hear him. Is that me?
Can you hear me?
Put a one in the chat if y'all can hear him.
I don't want to hold you. I don't want to hold you down.
If y'all can hear niggas with vaginas, put a one in the chat.
Oh, I can be heard.
Okay, all right, that's me, y'all. I got somebody else trying to come in. I'm gonna dip out real quick. Get my audio right. I'm gonna get my audio right, then I'll be right back. So my bad for stepping on you, niggas with vaginas, but I can't even hear you. My apologies. Do your thing. I'll be right back.
All right, then. I guess. Happy Wednesday to everybody. Everybody was in the chat. Happy Wednesday to y'all. See, the situation with Ashley, it's none of my concern, per se. Because it doesn't matter how poorly the Ku Klux Keishas get treated on the other side, on the Pilgrim side, they still don't like y'all niggas. Okay? Y'all still just a bunch of niggas. So, for me, it's just an internal disagreement amongst Klan members. You know, Ku Klux Keisha thinks that she's part of the Klan. She wants to throw ninjas under the bus all the time so she can secure her spot in the Klan. And every once in a while, Ms. Cartwright has to remind them that they are just a bunch of niggas with vaginas. They see them just as niggas. Matter of fact, sometimes they get treated even harsher than niggas. So the idea to think that they convinced themselves that they are part of this plan, the good old Pilgrim plan, is weird because you got the only entity that can naturally and biologically create the very thing that those pilgrims fear, their mortal enemy, which is black men. So why wouldn't they hate the essentially factory that is creating the said black man, who is their mortal enemy? Why wouldn't they hate them just as much, if not even more? I'm thinking to myself, how can them Ku Klux Keishas be so stupid to think that they are being loved by those pilgrims, especially Miss Anne? Miss Anne, for one of the few times where she was being honest, she just reminded all them Ku Klux Keishas that no, we don't see you as women. Your femininity is not being validated by us. You're just so much a niggas with vaginas. We see you as a nigga too. And as a white woman, how dare the white institution speak over me and give this nigga bitch a job? Let's see your job at that. See, I'm white. I deserve the CEO spot. But they just wouldn't give it to me. Won't give it to this nigga yet. And she's pissed. Because now she gotta listen to this nigga yet. She gotta take orders from the nigga yet. Right? And it's not. It's not, and told her the truth. You just a Negro with a vagina. And that would be nice. Roger, are you here?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back. I covered the screen because I had somebody come up and I didn't know who it was, but you know what? I just saw the name. I'm pretty sure I know who this is at this point. A misguided soul, if it's who I think it is, a misguided soul. But we welcome him here. He misguided in one area. He's good in other areas, but he misguided in one particular area. And as you can see by his name, that area is exposed right now. We go. Yeah, I thought I had something to worry about until I seen the name, y'all. Now I know. No, it's one of them. He we gonna pray for him, y'all. We just gonna pray for him, but I'm gonna let him get the mic anyway. Shout out to LeBron is the greatest. You have your 2-minute opening statement, my brother. Okay, and I'm praying for you. I'm praying for you. Just to be real. Okay, I'm praying for you. Don't even worry about it. Okay.
Y'all heard it here first hand. Roger himself said LeBron is the greatest. It is unprecedented. The truth has finally been told.
Yeah, he is. The
Man,
greatest
it's a wonderful Wednesday when you hear those words come out of Roger's mouth. Wonderful Wednesday. Man, this video with this woman on Zoom, man, this was hilarious. This was hilarious, bro. These people don't want to work with Keisha, man. They don't want Keisha in HR. They don't want Keisha in the C-suite. They don't want Keisha cleaning the bathroom. I'm telling you, man. This is. They don't want these. They don't want these women of color in these companies anymore, man. I think you're gonna start to see more and more of it as time goes on. It's unfortunate for them. It's unfortunate for them. But there's answers for these type of women. See, Ashley, I'm pretty sure she probably got a husband. So momentarily, she gonna be like, hey, you know what? I lost my job. I was making a couple $100,000 a year, but my husband's doing well. She'll be okay. And these Keishas, man, what they need to do is follow up behind these white women and get husbands. That way, when you go to getting harassed on the job and you go to getting ostracized, even when you run in the show, because when you got one talking like that and she thought she was talking behind the scenes, I mean, it's about 10, 20 more that's plotting on your downfall. That Keisha on the way out. She just don't know it yet. She don't know it yet. She gonna need a husband soon. She gonna need a husband soon, man. But these white women don't want to see y'all rise above them. They don't want to see black men rise above them. This has always been an issue with white women from the time that black men were supposed to get voting rights before white women. This is how feminism started in the first place. They do not want to see black people, or whether it's a man or a woman, above them, and it's going to be an issue. That's why I was so visceral with this woman. But I'm going to land my plane there. But I appreciate you admitting that, Roger. I appreciate you admitting that loud and clear for all to hear, and it's on the internet forever. LeBron is the greatest.
You know what? My channel's under review, and I think y'all this is part of the reason why they taking so long to bring the super chat back, because of stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? Me talking about LeBron is good. This is why I'm having such problems, y'all. This is why I'm having such problems. And I will admit, LeBron is the greatest flopper in NBA history. I will admit that. That is very true. I'm not going to even deny him that. Okay, he's definitely the greatest
I'll
flopper
take
in
that.
NBA
I'll take that for that. At least you can admit he's great in something, and we're gonna work on the rest of it. Nah, I don't want Black Uru coming up here starting no mess. I don't want Chef Mike come up here starting no mess. I didn't say anything. Roger said. I didn't say nothing.
Boy, you give these people a little bit of rope, and they go all day with it. All right, but you know what? I do think there's a very strong point you made right there, because Ashley ain't by herself, and that's the thing, y'all. Okay, so Veronica is the CEO. Now I'm gonna say there are some funny parts to this. Now, yes, it's people should find this disgusting or disturbing and things like that. At least that's what you're supposed to say to be politically correct. Well, I find Ashley's behavior repulsive. Yeah, I find it hilarious. That's what I find Ashley's behavior. And I have to say, shout out to Ashley for doing a great job of making sure everybody knew how she feel. Cause she in her mind, I'm home alone. I'm gonna speak my piece. I can say it uncut, unfiltered. I can put all the sauce on it that I want. I ain't got to hold back at all, because I'm sitting in my home office at this meeting where I'm about to expose myself to counting 290 people at the time. And y'all remember, it's other people that wasn't necessarily there, which is why they record these videos. So anybody who couldn't make the meeting doesn't have an excuse to not make the meeting. You got to go back on your free time and watch however long these meetings go. Okay, this company ain't playing with folks. Okay, this company ain't playing with folks. You a dirty mo. I just say I see what Kevin doing in the chat. You, but I'm gonna let that ride for now. You dirty mother. But so y'all, to me, Ashley was doing something hilarious. I don't see it as tragic. I don't see it as some terrible thing that happened. Some terrible thing that happened to Ashley. I see it as absolutely hilarious. Okay, what she did is funny to me, because she let everybody know that she is totally qualified. I do not understand why that nigger, I'm gonna use the word chick to replace the word that starts with the B, which is what I really believe was going on in her head. This nigger chick gets this CEO position, and I've been working my behind off. Now I'm just gonna guesstimate Ashley been there for about 3.5 years. They said that, I believe they said the company was doing business for about 4 years. So I'm assume Ashley been there for at least 3.5 of them. She really believes she put the work in. She really believed that she put the elbow grease in there. Now, Kevin, you make a point about Ashley also having a husband. Maybe Ashley has a husband, which could very well be true, even though he wasn't mentioned in the video. But the person making the video could be a coworker or someone who knows a coworker. He could just be a guy who saw it on the news. I don't particularly know, but I'm accepting what he said is true at this particular point, because it's just that funny to me. So I'm accepting the stuff that he presented is true. So shout out to Ashley for getting her vacation home in order. I wonder how much she put down on that vacation home that she may run into a problem paying for. Okay, she may run into it. She is in America, y'all. Keep it real. She is in America. Ashley might be fine, and I'm just gonna keep it real. Ashley might be totally fine, but Gold P has come. So let me go ahead and let Gold P get the mic. Let's see what he do with it. Gold P, you got the mic, my brother.
Hey,
What you got for us?
What's happening? Can y'all hear me?
What's happening, brother? We hear you. We hear you.
What's happening?
Hey, I just came to say, hit that like button, support the channel, keep winning, brothers, keep winning. That's it.
Hey, appreciate you, brother.
Man, it's good to hear from the Sandwich King this morning.
Okay, yeah, it's early though.
See, man, y'all just couldn't.
We ain't saying nothing. He said it's good to hear from you. That ain't saying nothing.
No, you see.
He said it's good to hear from you, brother. How is that a bad thing?
No. He had to throw in sandwiches.
Come on now. Don't be like Ashley, man. Don't be like Ashley.
I'm just saying it sounds like you in the subway bathroom. That's all I think you getting a sandwich.
You see what I'm saying? I ain't said nothing. I can't. Hey, hit that like, but no, off top, you gotta say something. I
I,
ain't saying nothing, man.
I believe he was just welcoming you to the panel, brother. That's all I believe it
So
was.
that's
Okay.
welcome.
That's
So
it.
that's welcome now.
That's it. That's it.
He just wants you to be comfortable while you're here, brother.
So you want me to be comfortable and welcome.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
brother. Right. We ain't gonna do
Roger,
you like Ashley, brother. We
now,
not gonna do you like Ashley. Okay, we
Roger,
gonna welcome you here.
why you letting LeBron, the failure, I'm sorry, greatest,
Yeah.
throw chairs?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
you letting him throw
Yeah.
chairs, brother? Why you
bro,
letting him throw
bro.
chairs?
He ain't did nothing yet. He being
He did
respectful
throw
so
a chair.
far.
He did throw a chair.
He's
I,
being respectful so far. He welcomed you here, brother.
No. When he talked about them sandwiches, they weren't mine. They were yours, Roger. They weren't mine. They were yours.
You don't even know what sandwich he was referring to.
Let's let the show continue.
Exactly. Okay. Okay. Yeah,
Let
we
me
ain't gonna do you
let
like
me
Ashley.
let me just say this. You can't take them subway ninjas nowhere.
You see what I'm saying?
that's all I'm saying.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we gonna take it back to Ashley's home office where all the good stuff happened. Okay, all the good stuff happened, y'all. And I do want y'all to look at the fact that I mean Ashley has a right to her opinion. I am not here to say Ashley don't have the right to her opinion. Okay, Ashley has that right. She in America. We can feel anything we want to feel about certain things. Freedom of speech is available, so she can say what she want to say. I don't have any problem with anything Ashley said. Ashley is a grown woman. She can say what she want to say. Now, this is the thing. Freedom of speech can be dangerous to you or others because you can hurt people with your freedom of speech, or you can hurt. Well, I don't know if you can really hurt others with your freedom of speech, but you definitely can hurt yourself with your freedom of speech. And Ashley, I'm going to assume hurt herself. Okay, because Ashley lost her position. I mean, when the man said her position is 198,000 at the base, woo, 198,000 to start, and then she gets some bonuses, and it take over 200,000. If my memory is correct, 'cause I saw it yesterday. I think he said it take it to about 220. That
That's
ain't a
the
Mm.
bad
people.
job. That's pretty decent.
That's
Okay,
the people.
you know. I mean, when yeah, and this is what I'm telling you, we don't have to feel sorry for Ashley because when you are living in a state where you can just throw away a $200,000 a year job, you kind of you somewhat good. You're not struggling if you can afford to throw away a $200,000 a year job because you know that's a good chunk of change
But
every
Roger,
single year.
let me ask you something. Why did they fire her? What did she do wrong?
What did she do wrong?
Yes.
Well, I mean, you gotta look at what they said. Hey, man, you created a hostile environment.
But all she did was calling out this nigga B. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
That nigga B happened to be her CEO.
But okay, let's flip the script. What if that nigga B was just a janitor? Would have been the same thing?
We
It's
we
it's a,
we can't say
it's
that for sure. You know, we
it's
can't say that for
against
sure.
it's against company policy to call women bees on the job. Now you can call them niggas because she obviously a nigga, but you can't. She went a little too far with the B word.
Yeah,
She went a
but
little too far.
all I'm saying is that Ashley is disciplining um, her personal property.
This is the thing, y'all. This is the thing. You really got to look at you really got to look at how this makes the company look because that's what they were looking at. Now, I don't know the people. I can't get inside their head. My best conclusion is you just did something online. You had 290 people who saw you do the thing. So
Yep.
we got 290 witnesses. Plus, it's the recorded video meeting that everybody got to come to. So every employee there has to watch this meeting. That's what the dude presented when he told the story. Every employee got to watch this particular meeting. Either you show up live or you must watch it after it's been recorded, because you have no excuse for not knowing the information that's presented at this meeting. Now, maybe they got an employee that works at some regular office building that don't necessarily have to watch it. Maybe a janitor somewhere don't got to technically watch this video. But he said this is a company-wide video. So I'm going to assume everybody who's part of a technical team in any kind of shape, way, or form has to see this video. So everybody saw what Ashley did. That's how you got to take it. Everybody saw what Ashley did. What can I do with that as being a person, being a superior of the company? What should I do about this? Y'all, they brought in the legal team. Okay. What I'm supposed to do? You done said it in front of everybody. I can't sweep this under the rug. I may like Ashley. Ashley might be my cousin, but she said this in front of everybody. What can I do? I can't say.
She said the quiet part out loud, and I'm sure she's not the only person at that company that felt like that. As a matter of fact, she was apparently communicating or attempting to communicate with other member with another member of the company on the phone, and I'm sure she's welcome with sharing those views, long as it's quiet, long as it's behind closed doors.
Yeah, but listen, this is an internal disagreement between clan members.
Shout out to Gyogami. I think this statement kind of it kind of helps with this point. He said you're taking it out of context at the Roger Report. She's not racist. She has some black friends. Those are just words. Don't take it seriously. Well, you know what? I bet Ashley was wishing the legal team would take it that way. What they say dude name was Robert? When Robert came in, I bet you would Robert could take it that way. But again, she did it in front of everybody, y'all. Everybody. Okay. This wasn't no I said it amongst 2 or 3. This wasn't even no 5 to 10. This everybody. Okay. The people in my department, the people in that person's department, the people in that person, every department got a load of this one. You can't save her at that point. You know, I mean, she obviously had this white privilege moment that she felt she could be saved, and she was going for it. But I mean, realistically speaking, it's out there, it's on the internet, and it's recorded. How do you do business with other companies if you hold on to Ashley in a senior position? That just don't look right.
I would fire Ashley. Actually, I wouldn't.
Now, I don't think they.
Ashley deserve her job back.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I could assume there's a lot of people there who did not want Ashley fired. I think this was just a forced hand situation. Okay, look. There's plenty of people who done did something wrong at work. Okay, there's plenty. There's people with driving jobs. They have probably pulled over somewhere, and they probably took a piss somewhere. But did they do it on camera? Did somebody catch them on camera? No. So you safe. But if somebody catches you on camera doing that, let's say you delivering pops for Pepsi. You pull over somewhere, you take your slong out, you do your thing. You're not trying to make it public, but if somebody put out a public video, what Pepsi got to do? They got to do something at that point. So to me, it's a forced hand situation. Ashley did everything she needed to do to make sure they had to fire her. That's what I'm saying. Go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah. I think the lesson to be learned here is how you do anything is how you do everything. The things that you do in private, you're gonna end up doing it publicly somewhere when it's inconvenient for you. So it's best to really have your best behavior in private when you think nobody's looking. That way, when you're in public, you're already well behaved. It's just her private life came out in public at a time that was really inconvenient for her. That's what she did wrong.
Man. Yeah, I'm not taking Ashley as no victim. Ashley so comfortable being a white woman, and I'm looking at that too, y'all. She's so comfortable in this American society as a white woman that you could just say stuff like this. And let's keep it real, y'all. I'm pretty sure most people have called their bosses stupid at some point. Let's just keep it real. Do everybody agree with every idea on every job they've ever had? Probably not. So a lot of us then call somebody in a superior position an idiot sometimes. We're not calling them an overall idiot. We're just saying they was an idiot on this particular decision. Because you have a different viewpoint with you, the person doing the work versus the person that's in charge of the work that's being done. There's a different viewpoint. It just is what it is. Because we all see things from our own perspectives. I'm plenty of folks done said they boss ain't. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there that said they boss were not qualified. Now I'm gonna say this: have I met people and they showed me quickly that they were not qualified for the position they had? Yes, I have seen that amongst white folks day in day out. Okay, I've seen white people in positions where there is nowhere in the world you can convince me that they're qualified for the position they have right now. Now maybe they can get trained up in that position. You know what I'm saying? They might have been somebody cousin they sell. They just got a position because of who they was, but they just weren't qualified at the moment I happened to be there. I don't see underqualified white people as a surprise. I don't see that as a surprise. But that don't mean I go around insulting every white person. And if I work for the company, that don't mean I'm supposed to be at work saying it. You can think your boss an idiot, but if you work there, you ain't supposed to tell people. It's what it is. It's a thought you're supposed to keep private at the end of the day. But we all, I'm sure, at least close to all who's listening, have probably done that if they work for somebody at some particular point. There's an idea they had that you just didn't agree with. There's a policy that they had you didn't agree with. Everybody do not agree on everything, and that's just real talk. Ashley just told everybody how she really feel, even though maybe she didn't consciously want to tell everybody how she really feel, but maybe she wanted to tell everybody subconsciously how she really felt. So she left that mute button alone and said, "No, I'm gonna speak it out. I will speak it." And she told us exactly how she feels. So I'm gonna say I'm proud of Ashley for getting it off her chest. Okay. And if she tried to say it in private, I'm gonna say shout out to Ashley for trying to at least say it in private because that's what you. If you gonna say it, that's what you're supposed to say. It's just it didn't work out for you. But I'm gonna chill right now because my man Shark done came up and I want to hear what Shark got to say about Ashley doing her thing. Shark, what's going on, brother?
Yo, what up, fellas?
How you feeling about Ashley right now?
I'm not mad at Ashley. I zoomed in on the photo on the picture of the the group chat, and Veronica had a horrible wig on, so I'm definitely not mad at Ashley. We already talked about our feelings on that stuff, right? Now, I always say when your enemies are fighting, just sit back and get the popcorn, right?
That's just it.
Veronica thought she was the shit, realized that she's not, and I think Ashley does have a great point. I don't think that lady would have been there if it wasn't for DEI. And Ashley was working there for 4 years strong because the company was around for like 15 years if when they was giving a description of everything. And Ashley had a good point. Like, wait, we out here giving free services to people just because it's like COVID time. Now, what if they say they don't like our product? We done gave our product out for free, and now we getting a bad review on it too. Now sales might drop or just off a GP of that. No, we a company. We're not shooting freebies out to people. So I'm definitely not mad at Ashley. As far as the Wayne's brothers, that was a beautiful thing that they was talking about. It kind of goes back to what we was arguing about yesterday about code and ethics and just having a code of ethics. You know what I mean? And as far as the white guys, the cop's son, I kind of feel like that was
What?
fake.
No, you know what? Trey Bentley said that video was fake. He started looking
Yeah,
at the uniform, so we gonna let that one go. I did put that up in a rush, so I should have peeped game
yeah,
about the uniform. You gotta, because I have seen a lot of stuff out here where there's actors and whatnot. So I know people are making fake content, and I try to stay away from the fake content. So since Trey Bentley done said no, that ain't real,
yeah.
he checked out. We ain't gonna even comment on that. It shouldn't even been up
Hmm.
there. My apologies to the audience for that. That was me trying to do a rush job and put something up there with Ashley. I got some other stuff for more future supervised white people. so we gonna be all right, but we
Yeah,
ain't got
because
to worry about that one.
homeboy had sneakers on, white sneakers at that. That's a violation. And I didn't watch many of mob movies where I seen the guy get peep the assassins because they was dressed as cops with some old alligator shoes on. He like, hold up, you ain't no cop. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I seen that from a mile away.
yeah.
But the Wayne's brothers, that's a beautiful thing. And I think being that Keenan is 60, no, Damon is 60 something years old, it just shows you how far we've gone as far as a people. Like, we really not, we arguing over traditions and ethics that really help us move forward. They have respect for each other as brothers. Nowadays, I know brothers that fight over seats, and his nigga, you 17 years old, your brother 33, and you going, nah. So yeah, I can't be mad at the videos that you put up, but I'm rooting for Ashley. I know she gonna get another job anyway.
Man, she live in America. I'm pretty sure Ashley gonna be fine. Real talk. uh, now shout out to Kyokami. He says, "What if Ashley was also hired through DEI, considering she's a white woman, and white women are the largest demographic beneficiary of DEI?" You know what? Now ain't that the pot calling the kettle white? Because that very much could be the case too. Because let's keep it real. Um, People make an issue about how few women are in tech in the first place. So that's something to consider right there. You know, people make an issue about we ain't got no women in tech. This is a
See,
tech company.
now, Raj, people playing games out here. She was she got hired because of RACE. All of them white women that lost jobs at DEI was lesbians.
What but all I'm saying is she is a white woman and she's a white woman in tech.
And she's
If
sexy.
you are
She sound like she cute too. So yeah, cute white Texas. How you gonna turn that down?
I'm saying if you are hiring as a company and you actually got a qualified white woman in tech, why not give her a job? She's a qualified white woman in tech, so you can say, hey, we cool with that diversity thing. We ain't holding nobody back. Look at this white woman we got in tech. Matter of fact, I forget exactly what position they said she has a position. I forget what they
Who,
said she
Ashley?
was. Yeah, Ashley
Who,
was
Ashley?
somebody. Yeah, because Ashley had her
Ashley was
own
a
team.
she was a team lead. She was a lead architect of her team. And let me tell you something, man. Rob had an issue with Ashley prior to all of this happening because he wasn't trying to let her talk. He wasn't like trying to let her explain. He kept cutting her off. Nope, we don't want to hear it. This is what it is. Out of there. He was sick of Ashley. I don't know what Ashley did to Rob in the future. He ain't give her no. He ain't let her say nothing.
Now Rob was trying to save his job. I actually buried herself. We can't even front. Like that rant she went on, yeah, it was like, damn, man. I can't
Robert
help you.
Dang this sound like a black man that was handling that situation. The way they said that, you would think it was a black man holding that particular meeting.
No,
I ain't giving you no room to get up out of this one. We heard you. Hey, we not here to discuss. What we here to discuss is this, and you said what you said. We don't care about your intention. So yeah, Robert went straight. And my thing is, I'm sitting there like, dang, is they related? I'm like, is they related? Is Robert trying to make sure he do this the right way so he don't put himself in jeopardy?
exactly.
You
And
know,
here's a question: how many brothers did Veronica bring on when she became CEO through DEI?
None.
Probably none.
None.
yeah. Well, we don't know her track
That's what
record. at all. We just know she's CEO. But I'm gonna say this: Ashley ain't in the hot. I mean, Veronica's not in the hot seat at this particular point because this is about unsupervised white people. So Veronica getting a clear pass on whatever she did or didn't do. And because we ain't heard nothing about her story, she was just conducting the meet. And I gotta say, even when it comes down to it, as black folks, I gotta be totally against some random white woman disrespecting even this black woman I don't know because she is a CEO. She got a background. She's done something because she was an outside hire. So she's done something somewhere that they felt comfortable enough to put her in a CEO position. I can't say this is a DEI type of thing. You see what I'm saying? Because do you bring in a black woman that's unqualified and you put her in a CEO position? That's kind of a big bite.
They put Joe Biden in office, and he was 75% dead. He was running the country dead. So yeah, they could do it. You just think you're making the calls and the shots, and you ain't really making it. You're just the face of a company. It happens all the time.
But Joe at least was a white man though. He's a white man. You gonna play with the company and bring in an unqualified black woman to be CEO. To me, that's a little bit of a leap for a tech company. You know what I'm saying? Like tech is it's not like you run it. And no offense to Chef Mike, it's not like you running a restaurant. Okay, but you can certain things can be a little bit more subjective. There's certain things where you just got to be on point. Anything in technology, anything in healthcare, anything in aerospace. There's certain things where you just got to be on point. So to have an unqualified person at a tech company, a CEO unqualified. That's kind of a strong leap. I have to say. I don't know Veronica. I don't know what her background is, but I gotta say, more than likely, she was probably very qualified to do something where she's the CEO of a tech company. You can't be wrong about tech. It's all zeros and ones. They got to be in the right place at the right time.
I don't know if it was a brother. If it was a brother, I might feel different, but I doubt it. But the women don't. She don't like STEM. That's not even something sisters think about.
Exactly. Well, yeah. For the most part, you're right.
Unless they saw roses.
Guys, gentlemen, that was some friendly fires going on over there. That's cool. They're cool. They're a bunch of clan members. It's Ku Klux Keisha versus Miss Cartwright. Both are my enemies. So I don't care.
No,
friendly fire activated.
I get your point, but my thing is I don't want to put something on Veronica that we don't technically know about Veronica. We don't have any information on Veronica. We know what very much could be the case. So I'm not gonna say you wrong, but I'm saying in this particular context, we don't have no real context for Veronica. All we know is she was someone on the outside and she got brought into the company to be CEO. So for that to happen, I'm gonna say it being a tech company, I'm gonna say she had to be on point. And there's a lot of black women. Yeah, and I'm saying there's a lot of black women who want to prove themselves to a certain point, but they'll just give up on a bunch of other stuff. They'll give up on family, they'll give up on friends and all kinds of other things so they can prove themselves to these white people. There's black women who do that. I'm not saying 100% for sure that Veronica is one of them, but that she very much could be.
Roger, what if you found out that she was married to Brad?
I mean, bro, I don't think that this happened because of how people feel at the company. I think this happened because it was on a recorded thing that was for everybody. So her being married to Brad, as you say, wouldn't make that much of a difference. Cause let's keep it real, y'all. People was trying to say. People said, "Hey, Ashley," and I was gonna bring this up later anyway. Hey, Ashley, you're not muted. Why would you do that? Think about the culture of that particular company. Why are you trying to save Ashley? Because let's keep it real. If I'm sitting there, I'm part of this meeting, right? I'm being real. I'm a part of this particular meeting. I'm working for this particular tech company, and I hear Ashley get on her soapbox and do her thing, right? Y'all think I'm saying anything? If anything, I'm gonna be telling people in the chat to shut up. You know what I'm saying? Leave her alone. Let her. I'm gonna be on there like let her cook. You know,
Let her get it all
you
out.
know what I'm saying? Y'all, yeah, let her get it out. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this how she feel. Regardless of how y'all feel, y'all let her cook. She need to get this off her chest. Leave her alone. Show some respect. Real
So
talk.
you think that was the feeling of everybody in the company how Ashley felt about Veronica?
No, what I'm saying is, regardless of what they felt about Veronica, a lot of folks started trying to help Ashley. Keep in mind, people were saying it in the chat that they got. People was calling her and people was texting her. So a lot of people, I'm
We're
not
trying
gonna
to help
say
her.
I can't 100% accuse them of agreeing with Ashley, but why are you trying to save Ashley if you don't agree?
Wait, just because you got views I don't agree on, but I wouldn't let you jump out the window.
I mean, bro, this is a situation where you're talking about people in a work scenario where people got bosses and everything. It's far more control. You see what I'm saying? Like, let's keep it real. At the Roger Report Live, I welcome basically anybody to come up here and say what they want. All I ask is for you to be respectful while you say it. You don't have to agree with me here. This is a company situation. The bosses are having meetings to lay out plans for companies. It don't make no difference how you feel about these plans. Real talk. If they say you do these plans, you do these plans. You don't get to say no to what the bosses say and keep your job. This is a much more structured situation. So what I'm saying is, if people really truly disagree with Ashley, why are you trying to save Ashley? There's
I
a
don't know.
culture.
I don't know
There's a
about that,
culture of
Raj.
a company. That's all I'm saying. There's a culture of a company,
Yeah,
and
especially,
they don't see
especially.
what Ashley doing is. I'm gonna say based on what I'm getting, because this is a company, and they can say what they views are as a company. What I'm gonna say is not company, but I'm saying the people who work for the company. I think a lot of them agreed with Ashley, which is why they tried to save Ashley. The
Yeah,
company may not stand for that. I'm saying that's an employee issue, but you got a lot of employees that's cool with what Ashley said.
No, I could. That's what I could agree with that. That's why I said it might have really been a DEI thing, because it sounded like it was people way more qualified to be that should be moved up within the company than for them to bring somebody outside of the company in, and that would ruffle feathers all over the place within a company. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could definitely understand it's gonna ruffle some feathers, and then people who believe that they work for the spot, which Ashley just one of those people. I'm not gonna say like Ashley ain't the only person who felt she should have got that spot. There's probably other people there for who's there a good amount of time who felt like they should have got that spot too. You know,
Hmm.
so yeah, I understand jealousy of it. I understand even just being salty that you didn't get the spot. It's just I think you presented this information in such a way that nobody could save you. That's
Yeah.
just how I look at it. Cause I'm not gonna act like we all perfect people at work. People make mistakes all the time. People say certain opinions that they shouldn't say all the time. This does happen. I think Ashley just forced everybody's hand because of where she made her mistake.
mm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, come on.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like if this
it
was a
ain't
private phone call,
it
there
ain't
wouldn't have
too
been no
bad.
problems.
It ain't that bad. Just another nigga beat. Come on.
But
When you
Ashley be
start
good.
like putting another nigga beat back in your place, I ain't mad at that. I need more of that.
Ashley will be okay. Veronica gonna be okay. Well, hopefully Veronica ain't get fired after all these cutbacks and all that. But
But Veronica possibly made a brilliant move because Veronica uh, lending out services for 6 months. If the people start paying for the services that she lent out for 6 months, then that turns out to be a very brilliant move. So it's really going to be about how did it work out? Because Because you said something about that earlier, Shark, and I think if it don't work out, you do seem stupid. But if it do work out, now you seem brilliant. It's just one of those type of things. It's a risk, but in order to get placed, you got to take the risk sometimes. You know, I
So it's
can
a
see it as
50-50 chance, you know what I'm saying? But we here to make profit. We're not here for charity.
I can see it as a
That's 6
decent
months.
calculated risk because they said it happened at the time of COVID. So to me, that's a calculated risk because it's like, we COVID happening, we're not gonna be getting money anyway, so we can at least lure some new customers in after COVID stops. Because nobody knew when COVID was gonna stop. We got to take that into account. You know,
Yeah, I could dig it.
you know, it's just that Ashley, she
Wow,
she
out.
she just hate niggas. That's all, and she just I don't know
Mm-mm.
why she wanted to express it at 9:58 if you got it to the clock meeting.
No, Ashley hate black women.
Ashley, Ashley hate that particular nigga.
Now, you know what? Real talk, I can see it as that too. It might have been an issue where she would have never really used the nigga word or anything like that if it wasn't for the fact that she felt like she got shafted in a position she truly believes she earned. So and a lot of white folks they won't really say nigga in their life until they get mad, and they say stuff because you want to subconsciously you want to hurt somebody. So they see calling a black person a nigga as a way to hurt them. So it really could be just particularly about this one particular woman. And you know what? If Ashley's smart, that'll be the story she should be telling folks. You know what I'm saying? Because she gonna end up going to white people to talk to them so she can get another job, I'm sure. You know what I'm saying? That is probably the way it's gonna be. So I don't think she done killed herself yet. I really don't believe it. She's a white woman in America. I really believe Ashley's gonna be fine. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm saying that's my opinion realistically. But we got Truth Teller in the building. So Truth Teller, you got it, my brother.
Good morning, everybody.
Peace,
Oh, this
truth teller.
show, today is gonna be fun, y'all. Today is gonna be fun. So
we
I just want to open this up with a quick question. Who thinks that them folks' privilege don't exist? If you don't think they have privilege, I want to fold over two of the videos to make one point. There was a police officer
Well, no, true,
that,
true. The police
That's
yeah,
officer
fake.
video was fake.
That's
I
fake.
did
I
admittedly
got it.
blush that I put it up, but it was fake. But
I
go ahead.
got it. Hold on. I got it. But I'm going to fold it over to Ashley. Now, the police officer was recorded talking about a certain privilege. Now, they don't normally say this out loud. It's something that's known under the hood across the board. And Ashley was upset because she thought this as well in real life. Because, and this is the tricky part about when you're hiring somebody, whether you think as an
Mhm.
employee you think you're a better choice or not, you don't know what the actual reason is for that hire. It may not to be able to do the job that's in the job description. It may be to do something else that they want that person to do in the very near future. And that could be a whole bunch of things. But Ashley, because she's Ashley, she thought she was supposed to get that because this was a N-word. Of course she's supposed to get it. She don't know what the owners and the leaders are thinking and why they picked up this lady because they probably have some very some very pointed reasons for picking that woman, not necessarily having to do with race, but more than likely. But Ashley couldn't see beyond herself, so Ashley got mad because she got to be better than this chick. Her privilege made her think that she should be picked over an N-word. And that's what caused Ashley to show her true colors by mistake on recording. And I'll point out, just like how that video was fake when they were talking about the privilege, when she didn't realize she was being recorded, she then reflected how she feels about her privilege. So we're using the opposite reflection in two separate videos to show that they actually know it exists. And
I'm
you gotta praise that.
I'm gonna
Now
say
I could dig what you're
strong. That
saying,
was
truth.
strong. That was strong. How you had? I see what you did there, True. I see what you did there. That's strong, brother. I appreciate that because I did say we're gonna let that other video go because it was fake. But you make a very brilliant point, even with a fake video. Very brilliant point. And I'm gonna
And
say shout out to the nameless protagonist. He said in the United States of plantations, Ashley was Ashley was not wrong in her beliefs and expectations.
It's
White women
true.
have absolutely no reason to give up their seats to black women to the next white man. And that's just as strong. And that makes a lot of sense. So I can definitely understand Ashley being 100% upset that this position that I've been working for was given to this nigga. Cause that's the way she had. I heard it with my third ear, y'all. I'm telling you gotta put your third ear on sometime, y'all. My third ear, I heard it. Okay. I don't appreciate the fact that I've been working hard for all these years and they gave this great CEO spot to this nigga.
well, you do have to remember this is Texas we talking about.
Oh, and then it would be some blank word before nigga too. Then
I,
since it's
I
Texas.
I will say this about Ashley though. I understand her frustration, but as y'all know, I like rules, and the rule the rule Ashley's breaking is she don't realize that in her community she is still a pawn. What
Mm.
that means is you can't be questioning these niggas when they make these decisions, thinking your privilege gives you purview over every decision they gonna make. So the pawn got to get let go. She just didn't realize her place, man. She got to, they got to release, get her contract released.
Yeah, Robert came through saying, "Look, Shouty, you may not understand it, but you putting us on blast right now, and you question everything we do, and
And
we ain't gonna let you question us like that. So guess what? It's time for you to pack up." Now I got to say, y'all, I've heard funny stories about people be getting fired, but I'm gonna say to me, this was hilarious. By the time she check her email, everything's already revoked. I mean, it's a tech company, so it's a little extra funny. I can see how they can get it done so fast because it is a tech company. So, they can move a little faster than some other companies can, but you can't even check your email. uh, and when she said, "Well, can I say goodbye to the thing? This will be your last communication with us."
mm,
That was strong. I got to give Robert a pat on the back for that one. Real talk, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know if Robert was doing it for show or Robert was doing it for show. But either way, he's smooth with it. Okay. Shout out to Robert for handling the business the way it needed to be handled. Because that was a strong, swift judgment. And I can
Robert was
appreciate that.
Robert was cold blooded.
Yeah. Yeah. Robert came in not playing at all. I mean, even when I heard them say Robert come through with the legal team. I was kind of cracking up a bit because usually it don't go quite like that. And the way they said it, this was not, we going to talk to you later this afternoon. This was right now.
because you really got to understand, she did this about the CEO. It wasn't like the janitor or the girl that was in her office with her. This is the CEO. The buttons the CEO could push is extremely sensitive and immaculate to yeah, she was. It was just gonna happen like that. This is the CEO. She probably got right off the phone. It's like, yo, da 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 da. And
this was a
the
mutiny.
CEO put the call in, so you know what's gotta happen.
It was an open mutiny. They made her walk the plank immediately. Nope, get off the ship.
You know
So
what? Technically, I think you got a real point. This was an open mutiny. It was going to be, Ashley going to rile up the troops, and now people going to make choices about who going to be on whose side. Are you riding with the CEO or are you riding with Ashley? That makes sense. And y'all keep in mind, the CEO a nigga. So you got to come ride with me. I'm Ashley. You really going to take that nigga side?
so can we finally admit that these they got special privilege because all I'm seeing is a white woman losing her job over calling N-word B the N-word B. So they have privilege now, huh?
Nah, I mean, I can't take it as that simple. She lost her job because she was anti the company. Because we got to be real about this. You could work for somebody if you are not on the CEO side. You are anti the company. I may not like a CEO's position, but I got to be pro whatever decision the CEO make, or I'm anti company. You know, and I know a lot of people won't take it to that extreme, but that's really what it is. At the end of the day, if you're not on the CEO side, you're technically anti-company, and now you're a person with a position. Like you know what I'm saying. This wasn't the janitor. This ain't the person working in the cafeteria. You're a person with a prominent position in a company, but you're anti what the CEO is talking about. You're not good for the company at that point. You could not like what the CEO wants to do, but you got to do it anyway.
Ashley thought she was Colin Kaepernick of the company.
I mean, you gonna do this to me? What movie was that? Y'all gonna do this to me?
Training
Training
day.
day. Training day.
Ashley really thought she was in a position where she just can't be touched. Real talk. But Black Guru then came up, so I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Black Guru and let him get his 89 cents in. He ain't doing 2 cents. He get 89 cents. Go ahead, Black Guru. How you doing, brother?
Hey, thanks for having me, Roger. I hope you and the gentlemen on the panel are doing well. Um, I have some a little more complex views about the Ashley thing. I guess to some respects, I'm questioning the authenticity of what's being presented there because there are references to things about Ashley's thoughts and personal actions that only Ashley herself would know. And yet it's being narrated by some other person. So I'm like, unless Ashley, for whatever reason, is especially revelatory about her failure, or somebody is a telepath or something, I'm kind of curious as to how that level of detail about her personal thoughts and activity were so accessible. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of questioning some of what's presented there, and then also, that they they appear to be referencing to an event that happened during COVID, which was 5 years ago, I guess. Towards the end, it would have been what the beginning, towards the end of the Trump presidency or the first term, or maybe the beginning of Biden's term, kind of depending on when that supposedly happened. Um, I wonder if, assuming that was a real event, I wonder what would happen if that happened today. I'm not sure that Ashley would be fired.
I'm just
I'm
wondering.
not sure. You know, um, Trump changed a lot of things. Uh, but one of the biggest things he changed when he first, you know, during the start of his second term was when he put aside that executive order that was originally authored by Lyndon Johnson and maintained throughout all the presidencies, including even his own first term, uh, over what the better part of was 60 years, I guess. Yeah, 60 years, right? That
Mm-hmm.
that was authored immediately after the 64 civil rights legislation. And that was the requirement that companies, particularly companies that had some government contracting or subcontracting or whatever requirement for some anti discrimination program in their workplace, in their employment, hiring and employment. Well, when Trump put that aside, and then he's pretty much just sort of neutralized the EEOC and really any sort of discrimination legislation. The Department of Justice isn't really at all concerned about that sort of thing right now under his second administration. I'm not sure if Ashley is fired. Everything else being the same. I'm not sure. Or if she is fired, she probably get a hell of a balloon package coming up out of it. That's the different legal environment we are in today with respect to issues like that. So while it makes for an interesting conversation, sort of entertaining conversation, as I look at what happened there in today's social, legal, political environment, I think it's a lot. I think we'd be less entertained maybe by how the company would respond to that today versus 5 years ago.
I think that's a good point, and I said, honestly, I still think Ashley's gonna be fine either way. And truth be told, now that the DEI stuff has been quote unquote discarded, it's a lot easier for Ashley to be right back on her feet. But do I really believe that Ashley, did they blackball Ashley? Probably not. Because again, she's still a white woman in tech.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's not blackballed. She would be fired though for one reason, and I mean currently in current time, because when you're on meetings like that, those meetings are being recorded, and it's accessible to everybody on that meeting, as well as people in the company, as well as a third party for which you're using that application. What happens is when you're in those meetings and they're being recorded, links to the recording of the meeting are sent to you as soon as the meeting ends. So what happens is that's recorded. They got to take the stance immediately, which is probably why they were in this whole show. They were doing it while they were on the recording because they had to appear like they taking this seriously and they handled it immediately. I'm sure Ashley, if they did let her go, she did get a nice little package and the promise to be called back in a few years. So Ashley, you go out there and do you for a little while. We're gonna get you back up in here, in a few years, and all of this dies down and nobody remembers.
Ashley could be back there now.
Let me say this. Let me say this right quick. So we're truly in a world where a poor, innocent, delicate white woman is losing her job over a nigga bitch. Ain't that a bitch?
I mean,
listen.
I'm afraid so, sir. I'm afraid so.
What kind of upside down is this?
Y'all having too much fun
Here's
with this topic, man.
here's the real answer to Uru's question. What would happen if that happened today in today's environment? She absolutely gets fired for a reason that we really haven't covered yet. She gets fired because DEI has been removed. Because they never create laws for us as black people. DEI was implemented for white women. It has been removed to get white women out of the workforce.
It's not that serious. First of all, DEI is not a law. It's just a practice. And it's not even a practice that you're legally obligated to follow. It's good for the show, right? And what happens is when somebody's recorded being racist on company software, even if DEI was active and flowing, she would have to get fired. She would have to. They don't have a choice.
I don't know. I feel like DEI
I'm
was
saying
made for gay
all those
people.
rules were put into place in response to an executive order that no longer exists. Everything that followed after that, all this anti-discrimination thing stuff, is a product of that executive order, that 1965 executive order. I'm not sure if, I mean, unless you think that for whatever reason, the clients of that software company would be particularly disturbed by Ashley. I could see them suspending Ashley, maybe, or give her some paid leave or some bullshit like that, and
Yeah,
give
great
her
point.
maybe some token training, and then she comes back in this environment.
I think she's coming back regardless because she's a white woman in tech.
No, I
That's
don't think
simple
she's
to
coming
me.
back, Roger. She
No,
ain't like
no, no,
Uru said. No,
No, Ashley's
she
gonna
may
come
not.
back.
She may not go.
Ashley gonna be fine.
She probably maybe she don't end up working for the exact same company. But
oh, all right.
seeing that this was some time ago, I'm pretty sure Ashley is back on in a tech company somewhere right now.
Listen, Ashley's in charge of a development department right now.
You know what I'm saying?
Just so y'all aware, I didn't know if y'all heard her title, but her title means she's making either close to $200,000 a year or more with that title. Just so y'all know, she that title is pulling in dough, right? Just with that title, I'm not even counting how many years of experience she has and what they'll pay her for that. I'm just talking about the title by itself gets her 200 plus G's just for the title.
I could dig
So
it.
Yeah, she was she
Ashley
was
gonna be
she
fine.
was making 198 plus bonuses
Yeah,
there.
Ashley gonna be fine.
Exactly.
That ain't hindering Ashley's career. Just so y'all know. I
Yeah.
hope nobody thinks that. They just
Yeah, Papa.
basically their
She
pawn is embarrassing them, and they got to do something to look strong. So Ashley got to go. That's all
Listen,
it is, man.
Ashley gonna be all right. She still got OnlyFans. She got two
yeah.
houses
No,
and a
Ashley
boat.
don't need OnlyFans. Ashley don't need OnlyFans.
She
She
got
could go anywhere in the world and work with her title and experience. She don't even need to. She could just be a contractor making
you.
$125 an hour.
You're
Right.
right. You're
Just
right about that.
yeah.
And
She don't even.
Ashley,
OnlyFans can't pay Ashley.
she might have started her own company by now.
That's
But
how.
might be a consultant or
That's
something. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
Ashley
that's how.
is a white woman in tech. That
Man,
I mean, y'all.
that woman
Yeah.
she probably is a senior level employee or contractor. She probably got a multi-million dollar contract under Doge. You know,
Right now.
she probably all up in she probably all up in that Trump. She probably all up in that Trump administration.
Yeah, hey,
There was some what's his
I
name?
know what Uru.
Elon Musk.
Yeah, please.
Elon Musk, one of them folks.
Yeah, y'all think it's funny what Uru just said. That is reality out here in these streets,
Oh
in the
yeah,
tech world, y'all.
yeah,
Just that's reality.
yeah.
That's not a joke. That's actually what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's fine.
there are some
Ashley's
people
perfectly fine.
now who gave her a job or a contract because of that incident. In this environment, there are people
Yeah.
who specifically are paying her now
Oh
because of
yeah,
that.
So
Yes.
oh yeah. They got out.
that's
We're helping out a good employee. You know what I mean? We
yeah.
Yeah, good
She needs a little
American.
help.
No, good
Yeah, good
American.
American.
They
There we
go to
go.
we
A good
helping out a
American.
good
Hey,
American.
hey. Ashley has made a mistake. We all make mistakes before. Do we really want to ruin her life with one simple mistake? Before that time,
Well,
Yes.
no,
Ashley
you know,
was
it's
no.
freedom
I'm
of
saying that
speech,
that's gonna be the spill
it's
they get.
freedom
You know, that's gonna be the spill
of
they
being a
get.
good
You
American.
know, yeah. You know, so this great American here, we just don't want her to be thrown to the wolves over one bad mistake in her life. You know, so we're gonna give her a second chance. Isn't this a country for second chances? You know, you just make a little speech about it, and Ashley gonna get a nice high position, and Ashley gonna be good again. I don't even think Ashley lost the second house, y'all. That's how strongly I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? Now I use this because to me this is a very funny situation, and but I do want people to pay attention to the fact Ashley wasn't alone. Ashley had the team rooting for it. Everybody was trying to tell Ashley, "Hey, your mic is not muted. Nobody they don't want Ashley fired. They trying to protect Ashley. And that's what I'm saying. That there was something going on with the culture of the. It may not be the company policy, but company culture is Ashley needs to be saved because we like Ashley. We like what Ashley stands for. We like what Ashley's doing right now. Because again, if it were me, I would have been sitting there like, y'all let Ashley cook. Let her get it all. Okay.
So no, I think it's not company culture. It's communal culture. That's the way their folk move. Whether it's in business, whether it's not in business, whether it's in the supermarket, whether it's shoveling snow, that's how they move all together. So everybody is thinking to their personal values in regards to helping out their own people when they were seeing this. So that's why somebody shouted, "Hey, I say shut down!" You know, right? He just tried to get it to be quiet. Yeah, he's like he had to say something. He couldn't just let it slide. Now, just so y'all know, just so you know, the host of that meeting has the ability to mute Ashley and did not mute her. So just like you can mute us on this platform, they have the host of that meeting has the ability to mute somebody, or even drop them. She could actually drop her from the meeting.
The problem is that probably was Veronica. That's the problem.
That's Veronica. Because you know what they could have did? Let's say this. Let's say you couldn't get to, because it's not easy to mute another person in those meetings. You got to go through like 3 or 4 steps in the menu to do it. But he could have just killed the meeting. He could have just hit the end button for the meeting and killed the whole meeting, right?
Not technical difficulties.
You're right. Exactly. Oh, we had some technical difficulties and sent out an email. We had some technical difficulties. Let's go ahead and rejoin the call. We got it fixed. Let's rejoin the call, and everybody jump back on like nothing happened.
Now, I'm just saying this the thing. Veronica was the CEO, so Veronica probably had the mute button. Veronica probably just on some okay. Oh, that's how you really feel. Okay, cool. Because that's what I would have did. Ain't no way in the world I'm saving you from this one. You know what I'm saying? There's no way.
Yeah, CEOs ain't running the call, but I guarantee Veronica was like, let her speak. She was probably just listening. Okay. All right. Is this how y'all cooking over here? I'm sure that's how she was, but everybody else was. But you have to understand too how she was talking about the CEO. The CEO is gonna start to think the rest of these niggas is talking about me the same way.
They are.
That means, yeah, but then
hold on. Let me say this real quick, because this is a tech company and they got enough money too. I am not saying that this is the policy of the tech company. I'm saying it's clearly employees that have worked there that feel the same way that Ashley do. Yeah, go ahead though. Go ahead.
But I was about to say, because that person, the CEO, can most of the time when a CEO takes over, they bring in their own team. That's why most people don't like CEO changes. It's not because, it's a new leader, I got to figure them out. No, them niggas come in with their own team, their own VPs. Suddenly you got new people taking over different departments. And when that happened, them new people start wiping out old people, because old people is hard to train on new stuff and they get new people in. That's why it always happens. New CEO comes in, new leadership comes in. New leadership comes in, new employees got to come in. So she's listening to this and she's like, oh, this is how y'all niggas is? Okay. All right. Sounds like we need to do a transitional change here. We need to clean up the company. And suddenly, a year from now, ain't none of them niggas in leadership. They not even with the company, or if they are with the company, they had to take a lower position because they can't be in leadership no more.
Oh man. Well, Veronica got every reason to make some changes. Veronica's sitting there like, so I'm a stupid hoe. That's what you saying. I done did this. I done went to this school. I done got this degree. And I done did all this quote unquote stuff. Oh, I'm just a stupid hoe, huh? That's what the company think of me? I'm just a stupid hoe. Okay. We gonna see what's what.
You know why this video? Sorry, go ahead.
I don't understand the world that we live in right now. I don't understand it. This one is totally upside down. So we are here genuinely judging the pure snow queen for
Don't
calling
do
this bitch a nigga bitch. Is that a crime?
She wasn't arrested.
Listen, man.
Should
Ashley
she
did
be?
not
He said
follow.
she wasn't arrested.
Ashley did not
God
follow.
damn.
Ash, Ashley did not follow the proper protocol. What Ashley was supposed to do was go look up Veronica's history online, go find a couple of twerking videos, make sure that was posted around before she did this. You see what I'm saying? You got to go find the evidence. It's just like whenever a black man get killed by the police, they go find all the evidence of this nigga holding guns and money up and all that
Yeah.
on Facebook, and then say he was a menace to society. See, Ashley fell out of protocol.
That nigga said a menace to society.
Well,
It ain't gonna work for her because she's going. If she got selected for a CEO position, they already did those checks for CEO, so they couldn't find her.
I do want to get this out there because Ashley stood strong, y'all. Okay, so that's why I don't really think
She did.
Ashley gonna have a problem. Ashley stood strong. Ashley went into this situation that caught her off guard because she didn't know she was muted, and they asked her directly, like, "Ashley, is this really you?" Yeah, that's me. Y'all heard me. You know what I'm saying? That was me at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And did you really say this stuff, Ashley? Look, I didn't mean for y'all to hear that. She didn't say I didn't mean to say
But
it. I didn't mean for y'all to hear it. That's all it was. Okay? Y'all heard something that I didn't mean for y'all to hear. It's not like I didn't really want to say that stuff, and I'm going to make it about this occasion. I was just frustrated. So she really didn't say, this ain't me. You know, she tried to help herself the best she could without really stepping away from those words. I said it because I was frustrated. She didn't say this ain't me. I just said it because I was frustrated. So guess what, y'all? This me. This who I am. Okay? I am a white woman in tech and I need my respect. It's that simple at the end of the day. Ain't a whole lot of asses out there. And truth be
that was
told,
a white
y'all,
woman's version. That was a white woman's version of I said what I said. That's
I
what
mean,
that
real
was.
talk.
It
Real
would have
talk.
helped her. It would have helped her more if she said, "Listen, man, don't any of y'all say it too when you get frustrated? I mean, come on." That's what she should have
Nah,
said on that call. Then she'd have been all right. They wouldn't even
if I
fight her.
was
They'd be like, "Yeah,
Ashley,
you're right. You're right, Ashley."
nah, if I was Ashley, I'd have started singing the shit. Tom, you said the same thing yesterday.
Are you gonna
Come on,
snitch?
Kim.
Oh, you gonna snitch?
Hey, if I'm going
Yo,
down, I ain't
I'm,
going down by myself.
man,
I'm
I'm,
bringing
I'm
all
turning
you.
straight to Nino Brown. I'm turning straight to
uh,
Nino Brown. This bigger than Nino Brown.
you wrong. You wrong.
That was why they got her out of there as quickly as they could, and why they shut off her access and all that as quickly as they could. Because if she had had more time having access and more conversation around there, she may have exposed the other people. So
She
that's
might
why
even
they
have
got her out
notes.
of there.
You know, when you go to
Yeah,
court,
yeah.
they
She
like
might
to
have
see
stuff
notes
on
on calendars.
emails
Yeah.
that she got from
Mm-hmm.
other people, all kinds of stuff. You know.
Yes. For real.
Yeah, they
Robert,
had to
you
shut
just
her
emailed
down
me
from
last
constantly.
week.
Not only that, any notes that she took, so the court will accept it as the truth. If you have a note from June of 2018 at 4:42 p.m. on your calendar, suddenly that's evidence. Hey, they said this on June, 14, 2018. So yeah, they had to get her out of there. She probably got so much evidence on them, recordings, emails, chats in the chat, in the chat thing there. They got to get her out of there. She can't have no access to none of this. She's a problem. She's a
Nigga,
contaminant. We can't allow it to spread.
they,
So
they, nigga, they turned the power button off of her laptop as they got done with that meeting. Nigga, he won't even crank it, man.
Bro, I really believe, and I'm not even playing, y'all. I really believe by the time Robert was in that meeting, working things the way he was working it, and not really giving her a chance to get too much out, I believe somebody was already being told to go get in the car and drive to Ashley's house. You going to get our stuff right now, okay? Drop what you're doing for the day. Go over there and get all our stuff. And I'm pretty sure that stuff had been cut off from her too. Whatever she had at home, somebody was on the way. In real talk, because you know, you Robert was on a mission. I'm gonna say that Robert was on a mission. That's why I said Robert came through like the black guy. You know what I'm saying? We really ain't trying to hear that. We really ain't trying to debate that. We just want you to confirm that it was you. Hey, we gonna throw you these little 2 weeks, which is more than we're legally required to give you, and we calling this a date. So stand down, Ashley. Stand down. And I'm
Just
telling
so
y'all,
y'all,
by that
yeah.
time, somebody was already in the elevator going down to the parking garage.
Just so y'all know, it's not just the government and the government of other countries and hackers and stuff that can turn on that camera on your laptop whenever they feel like it. Most people don't realize it, but your IT team at your company, they can do it too. It's their computer.
Yeah.
They can do it at any time. They can turn on the audio on your phone. They have the ability to turn on the camera, just like they scare you at the government. No, your job can do it. That's why you ain't supposed to speak near your work phone. Like I ain't got my work phone on me right now, so y'all niggas don't know. They can
It's a
hear
lot of
you.
stuff tagged out here. I remember the first time I woke up about 2, 3 in the morning, and my Xbox turned on by itself.
See,
You know what I'm
see.
saying? I remember I said the first time I saw it happen. It wasn't didn't happen just one time, which let me know it wasn't an accident. Okay, you know.
uh, so we are really doing this, guys. This pure blooded, egg toast queen, pure blooded man, big toes man, out here catching smoke over Cook's Keisha. Huh? Come on, man.
What?
That's
Well,
not
I mean,
fair.
She got out,
let's be
she got outside
realistic.
the protocol.
Yeah, if she'd have did this in a more private situation, Ashley probably would have had nothing happen to her then. Again, to me, this is a forced hand situation. You did it live. 290 people was already there. So this is the thing. 290 people saw it. Can you expect 290 people not to gossip? Yeah, this is getting out.
No.
Nope.
Yeah. So
Well,
this getting out no matter what.
she also implicated the woman that she was calling. What was the other woman she was calling? She was calling some woman. The
Yeah.
woman supposedly didn't take
That's
her call.
that's
She
why
let the call
that's
go to
why they
voicemail.
cut everything off.
Exactly. So she was because the what we can imply or infer from that is that this was the kind of thing that happened between both of them. That she calls and rants about how much she hates the new black CEO. So yeah, she was. They had to get her out of there as soon as possible because it'd have been a half a dozen folks fired before all that shit got out. You know,
Or and they
of
did
what was
say
going
now,
on.
That's
I don't know how he knew it, but he said 17 people text. So now I'm gonna say y'all, there's information in this presentation. I don't know how he would know that at least 17 people text. I mean, it's probably true, but how does he know what the number is? That I wouldn't know how he would know unless he's the insider himself. Are you the person that went and picked her phone up
I
from her?
think
Like, go ahead, go ahead.
I think the narrator just did a poor job of narrating. His information was probably correct. His narration wasn't that good, but like you said, there's nuggets in there. And like she was calling somebody like who was just saying, and that person could implicate somebody else and somebody else. That's why Rob was in the meeting like, no, don't say nothing. No.
We don't need no further explanation.
There's only 3 degrees of separation between me and you. Don't say nothing. Don't say who you talking to. Don't say who you know. Don't say who you friends with. Hell no. You can't talk to nobody that sent you 2 weeks. Hey, good night.
I'm
No,
telling you,
don't
Robin
talk.
was her cousin. That's what I'm saying. Robin was her cousin. Real talk. That's why they brought
On
Robin in to do it. It was her cousin.
on
You
on
know.
on a, on a more sinister note. I'm not joking this time. I'm serious. Don't laugh. So all black women seriously thinking that they are beloved by the pilgrims? They seriously don't believe that this is how they see them? Do they understand that naturally and biologically, they are the only entities on this planet that can give birth to the pilgrim's mortal enemy, which is a Kryptonian black man? Do they understand that? So if they hate black men as much, or since they hate black men as much, wouldn't it make sense for them to also hate the creature that can create this mortal enemy also? So they
Not
genuinely don't believe that they are hated.
no. The thing is, they gotta love white women because they need white women to make white men. You can't get the white man to worship unless the white woman gonna have his baby. From a general rule. So they stuck, bro. They stuck.
Hey, listen, you could be the greatest Kryptonian in the history of Kryptonia, but if you ain't got a leash around your neck, nigga, you ineffective. That's how they see that.
Yeah, I mean, black women do have a little personal beef with white women, but they gotta love her because she can bring that white man into the world that black woman won't. So at the end of the day, whether they knew it or not, and my thing is, like I said, this is not a show where we even really dealing with black folks in this because this is unsupervised white people. Regardless of how Veronica feels or felt or is feeling now after she found out all these people was trying to protect Ashley. I mean, because she got some stuff to think about. And Truth Teller made a great point. So if this whole team of people has changed over from the time this actually happened to the time that we're discussing it, it wouldn't surprise me at all. You know, it just is what it is. You know, some stuff you just can't get around. And black women can't get around the fact that they need white women to make white men babies. Okay, these babies is going to eventually grow up to a white man. They need them. They ain't got to like them, but they need them. Which is why you was even more reason to try to help them in a company situation. You know, because you have a black woman who's the CEO of a company, more than likely owned by white people. Why wouldn't you want to help them? You need white men to be produced. It what it is. You know, and I think Ashley is just she just caught herself at a bad moment because she had the hot mic. That's all. This all this really is. This is a hot mic situation when you think about it. She said what she really believed. The mic was supposed to be muted, and she was at home, so she's the most comfortable she's gonna be. Because what can you be more comfortable than at home? You know, so she really put it out there. You know, and she don't like none of the decisions Veronica made anyway. And the thing is, you could take that in different ways. She may not like any of the decisions that Veronica made because Veronica is a black woman making decisions, or she may not like the decisions that Veronica is making because you know, in her own personal experience, she may have really come to terms with the fact that I think it was a better decision to make. It could be either one. It could be a mixture of both. She don't care because all she knows is Veronica's in her CEO spot. Because Ashley did say that CEO spot's supposed to be mine. So Veronica is an in the way nigga to her. You know. And then when you gotta listen to that in the way nigga, and you're a white person in America, you probably do feel some type of way about that. You know? We may not really think about it, but how many white people got a problem with the fact they got a black boss? That's got to be a hard pill to swallow when you think about it from just an everyday life standpoint. Yeah, I go to work and my boss is black, but you white though. How your boss black? Ain't we supposed to be the best? Yeah, we are. Well, how come you can't surpass that nigga that's in charge of you? And every day they got to go home with that nigga in charge of them. You know, you got to change companies or something, or you got to report to that black boss on a regular basis. That's got to be hard for white people, you know. And I'm gonna say Ashley just had a whole lot of entitlement going on because she does believe she was entitled to that CEO position, you know. And she can legitimately make a claim that she worked her way and earned that position. Now they decided to go with something else, but in her mind, she definitely has a reason to claim that I earned that position. She did actually do some work to get there. And I keep stressing she's a white woman in tech. Y'all know in the tech space is mostly men. We all know this. So when you can get a white woman in tech, especially if she can do a good job, you as a company, you want to show her off. So yeah, you're gonna promote her.
Yeah, but True Teller says something that was important from a business standpoint. Very often when someone's promoted to chief executive officer position, it's not really about their technical competence in any particular skill set. It's about their ability to materially and strategically move the company in some way, in some direction, for example, that uh, under their current management or leadership, they're not as able to do. And they reference to it in the narration of the details of uh, I forget the name of the CEO, but there were specific things about her background, specific things about her experience in the medical field or hospitals or whatever, where she appeared to have a great deal of experience, management experience, leadership experience in an area in which they were looking to expand, which is also, they also referenced to them attempting to do some sort of volunteering with some clinic, whatever, to sort of get some broader sense of the expandability of their technology into other areas. So, a problem with being an Ashley is that she might have been very strong. She might have been very strong as a programmer or an analyst or whatever, but does not necessarily mean that she would have been an effective leader and director of that company.
Well, I'm gonna say this: does an effective leader make sure the mic is muted?
That would be another reason. That would be another reason why you would not want Ashley to be your CEO, because the CEO doesn't make those kinds of mistakes. So yeah.
Now, to be fair, the great Barack Obama was caught on a hot mic one time too. Now, come on now, come
He
on now.
wasn't using his
What
system though.
was he called doing? What was he called doing?
I forgot what he said, but it wasn't too inflammatory. But he said something that he probably shouldn't have said on open mic. I'm gonna find it.
You
And
talking
I'll
about
put it in the back chat.
you talking about Jesse Jackson or Barack
Jesse
now?
Jackson. Jesse Jackson. My bad. Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson. It
Oh
was
yeah,
Jesse
no,
Jackson.
he got caught. He got caught on a pretty tough one. He got caught saying he could clip Obama's nuts or whatever, right? If I recall.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got caught. He got caught on a pretty. He kind of never really recovered from that. He kind of he never really recovered from that particular hot mic. I mean, his profile kind of dimmed after that uh, incident. And, Obama
So
was getting elected president, and so you know.
so it would be safe to say that Ashley was an effective leader until the hot mic.
Well,
Well,
she may have been an effective manager over technology, but don't necessarily mean that she been a good leader, and that kind of thing. That when you make someone CEO, they typically don't, especially a woman and especially a black woman, they don't have those particular kind of mistakes on their resume. They don't have those kinds of mistakes on
Okay.
their resume, typically.
yeah.
Hmm.
I think this was in reference to Obama. He called Kanye West. I ain't gonna say this. No cursing. I'm not cursing on the mics, but he called Kanye a mule. I just say that. Was
You
that on
called
the
me
hot
what?
mic, or did you mean to say that?
I think it was on the hot mic that he
Well,
said
I
it.
mean, he said some things about Kanye. Did he call him an ass or something? I don't quite know, but yeah. But I don't think he was being particularly. I, I think he felt a certain kind of way about Kanye and wasn't necessarily concerned about the height. I think maybe he don't like Kanye. I don't know, but he didn't really seem to be particularly shy about his criticism of Kanye.
Yeah, I don't remember him not trying to hide his feelings on Kanye. I don't remember that part.
Yeah, I don't
You know,
remember that.
and I'm gonna say is in this, and there is somewhat of a difference if you're dealing with news media, which is not the mics you deal with, versus a person who works in a tech company. Okay, the fact that you work for a tech company, we all should have an understanding on how to mute yourself. So Veronica failed in a very, very poor situation for something as simple as you didn't mute yourself. And no, now the narrator did say, you know, you ain't never forget to mute yourself when you should have been muted and been on some type of business scenario or whatever. I don't think a lot of people really do that. Now, I think he may have said that to make it sound kind of make it a little bit more digestible. But are there really people in a business situation really saying a bunch of stuff and they not muted when they should be? I don't think that happens all that often. Yes, people are going to make mistakes. Yes, that's going to be somebody that's going to do it. But I don't think it's out there like he tried to present it was out there. I think Ashley just did something incredibly dumb. And that's it. You pulled up at the meeting at 9:58 and you just talking. I mean, why didn't you express this stuff at 9:55, 9:50? Get this off your chest way before the meeting starts. You know, I don't understand how she did this and she just got there at 9:58. I just don't get it. You know, I,
Well,
I'm
she
not
she,
saying
she
I wouldn't say
apparently
something
was
about.
used.
Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
She apparently was used to disrespecting the CEO, and she likely
Veronica.
was used to sharing her. Yeah, she likely was used to sharing her disrespect of Veronica. I mean, that's the thing. Like you say, the black boss comes in. Some percentage of the white folks are going to view that and feel a certain kind of way about it, and they're going to talk about it. Now, some of them are smart enough to talk about it in a way where they think that there is a deficiency in that person's resume. That's what they'll do. And they'll use euphemisms and code words. And, because like diversity has basically become the new N word. So, all these diversity efforts, that kind of stuff. Really they're saying, well, these nigger efforts, it's basically how, diversity has that's what diversity has been become as a rhetorical tool for many of them. So they learn to kind of talk around it, where some people support it. Some people don't necessarily support it, but you got a lot of cowardly white folks. So they'll just kind of, ha, 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 and just kind of go on to something else. And then you have occasionally a few of them who are both righteous and brave enough to call folks out on it, but they're in the very small minority in most cases.
I'm gonna say Ashley is probably very much entitled in this situation because I can understand. You work for a company for a few years. You got a high ranking position. You believe you truly earned the spot. But the fact that she got on this hot mic and said what she said, I think she made a great case of why you should never make her a CEO. you
Well,
know,
you'd be surprised, because one thing that surprised me when I got into quote corporate America was how after you spent a certain period of time around guys, particularly white guys, you work hard together, you work long, hard hours together, you have traveled together, you know, in and out of, airports and hotel rooms and bad hotel breakfasts and, you know, drinking after working 16 hours and, in some bar in Maine or whatever. After you had those kinds of experiences with them, they will begin to get very candid about certain things that they don't like, et cetera, whatever. And very often it will go demographic. Uh, and you'll have somebody, making derogatory comments about our small hat, boss. And I mean, it'd be like almost Hitler type shit. Right? Like, and I'm thinking like, well, why are you telling me this? I'm a black dude, so I can only imagine what you said about me when I'm not around. you know. And but some of the very worst comments I ever heard white guys make in any sort of professional environment, by far the worst. Man, the things I've heard white guys say about white women. Oh, oh my God. Oh my, I mean personal stuff like grimy frat boy, you know, hygienic stuff, so to speak. Just awful out of nowhere, man.
They
And I'm
Game of
like, I
Thrones
gotta
with
work with her, man. She's my
it.
supervisor on this shit, man. Why you think shit
They
about
Game of Thrones with it, man.
why and I'm like, okay.
That's
Yeah. Yeah,
that's why when
the
you're in
women,
leadership, you got to
but
develop some
this was
snitches.
during the '80s or whatever, Yeah, but yeah,
Well, I mean, a lot of people think that you know, in that corporate world, you can make a lot of good friends and whatnot. That I don't personally see it that way. I think it's just cutthroat the whole time. You got to understand, everybody's there to cut somebody else down because everybody want to get this position that somebody else got. And if they can spread a seed to help them get this particular position in the future, they gonna find a way to do it. And I was literally gonna say, I think Ashley had a happy hour conversation in the morning, which is why I don't get why she did this. If you pull it up at 9:58, we not talking about the boss right now. We gonna say this to lunchtime. We gonna say this for after work, but we don't have this conversation right now because we finna start work. Okay. So the boss gonna get a pass for now. I may hate the boss, but the boss gonna get a pass for now. And then, she said things in such a way that to me is like hard to recover from it because, you know, when you servicing people, because a lot of people dealing in customer service don't realize you service people. When you say you can't work with people just because you don't like them, it's just not a good look at the end of the day. I will do stuff for people that I can't stand. Why? Because it's business. I remember somebody asked, would you do business with somebody who's racist? Like, bro, they got money too. Like, what? If you're not gonna do business with people who are racist, are you really doing business with a lot of people? Now, so I think Ashley just had a happy hour conversation just early in the morning, which I just don't get why you doing this if you pulling up at 9:58 to a meeting that, based on what I believe, because
well,
they didn't necessarily
here's
state
the
it.
other
It's a
thing. Here's
Go
the
ahead.
other thing that's going on. You know, Here's the other thing that's going on. I mean, there's a lot of literature about it, but the other thing that was probably going on, particularly during COVID, because everything was up in an upheaval. A lot of people were probably half or fully drunk during a lot of these Zoom meetings. So it's a good possibility that that Ashley had tied one on, you know, before that even started. You know,
I got, I got,
that has been a very common thing, you know,
You
with
I
a
know,
got
lot
a
of
better
this remote
explanation.
working. Yeah.
I got a better explanation. I got a better explanation. Look, this is. I'm gonna tell you why I think Ashley has a boyfriend or is married. White women that work in corporate America, early in the morning, they like to talk and complain about their job while they getting
Yes.
dressed. This woman,
For
I
all women.
believe, that's there you go. This woman, I believe, had done got charged up from the conversation she don't had with her significant other early in the morning, and it carried over. So she was still kind of talking to herself about what she was standing in the mirror, putting the earrings in and doing her hair and all that other kind of stuff. She been talking about this woman all morning. And then she sat down in front of the computer, still talking.
y'all about to make me cry, man. So she already mad and totally upset about what's going on. Next thing you know, hubby handed her a drink.
Yeah, she don't
Then
forgot
she,
where she at.
you know, look, baby, you gotta deal with this meeting. Take a shot or two real quick too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they already drinking. Just take you a shot or two real quick, because it's
I
not
mean, let's
unusual.
face it.
Go ahead,
It's a
baby.
lot of. I mean, it's a lot of excess drinking around certain professions, IT, accounting, auditing, consulting. It's a lot of excess drinking around certain professions, right? Then you add to it, like I say, the remote working and the upheaval of COVID and that kind of stuff. And a lot of people were kind of off their, I mean, things that they could more comfortably keep to themselves and only do or say in certain ways or in certain environments, they kind of lose place of themselves, get a little bit too comfortable. And because she is home, that's the thing too. She is home. She's at work, but she's also home. So people get too comfortable and they reveal more about themselves than they certainly would do in a in the workplace.
Yeah, I got to get no placeholder in here, but there's no place like home, y'all. Y'all remember? There's no place like home. No placeholder. You got it, my brother. How you doing?
What's going on, Roger? Who? Is that Kev?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I did watch all three videos, Roger. It's the Ashley video. It is funny. It kind of cracked me up in more ways than one. Because according to what they're saying in the story, which you guys are kind of highlighting and probably talked about, it's but yeah. So that happens in corporate. In my opinion, that dynamic happens in corporate America more times than black women, black white women, more than I can actually talk about. Because my wife is actually going through that same scenario right now. Yeah, so it's like they do. It's you are right. It is a somewhat of a symbiosis. I don't know if it's necessarily directly tied to access to white men for white women having children. You know what I'm saying, but it's it's like a slave master paradigm where the white female is supposed to be the one that actually has the levers of power, and she's the one that's connected to the system, and the black female is supposed to be her subordinate. So in most scenarios, what happens is that you have a boss, which is the white female. She works very little, and the black woman basically works a lot. So from what I actually listened to the story, they did break
Like the
down
plantation.
this new, yeah, see? So and I broke down and I listened to the story. They broke down Veronica. Veronica looked like she was clearly a CEO. It was based on the credentials that they mentioned. Veronica was clearly a CEO. It's just that Ashley, and saying Ashley probably is a DEI hire, to be quite frank with you. They're saying that's the thing with white women. They sometimes they drink their own Kool-Aid. They're saying so, but yeah, yeah, I'll land there. I do have some things to say about that police video, but yeah, I'll land there for now. Thank you, Rod.
Well, the police video was a fake. That's the
Okay,
thing. Trail
okay,
Bentley pointed that out, and I did
okay.
say I admittedly said that I did rush that one up. I did rush that part, so I just got to apologize for not checking that out a little more thorough because I had it for a while and I threw it up there because I was trying to put something with Ashley because I knew Ashley was gonna be the me. You know what I'm saying? Ashley was gonna be the me because to me, this is one of the most hilarious things that I have seen in a while when it comes to anything happening at somebody's job. This has been a hilarious situation to me. But I do want to make sure I do highlight the fact that it's cool with these folks because they the people wanted to save Ashley. There was a great effort to save Ashley behind on behalf of the other people that was there. So it's not like people really have an issue with it like that. You know, they wanted to save Ashley behind, and I get it. Ashley is a white woman in tech. They want to be friends with her, or whatever the case is. And we didn't see it. She could be fairly attractive. I mean, she could be really, really, really attractive too. And people would, hey, let me shoot my shot right now.
Come on,
Let me
come on,
save
Roger. She's a principal engineer. You heard her title? Ashley,
that.
she's a principal engineer.
That don't mean she's
There's
not
no woman
attractive at
I've
all now.
never. No, come on, Raj. I've never met a pretty principal engineer. Do you understand what that means? It means that you're the best engineer in the
No,
company. You see?
I
yeah,
can't argue
she's
with
the
you. I
principal
can't argue
engineer.
with
She is not a QB dog. No.
you. Now, I mean, realistically speaking, they said and that's why I think this is an inside person. If they really know what they talk about, they said she doesn't normally show herself on camera. And I'm just gonna keep it real. Pretty women show themselves on camera. That's just something they're kind of more bound to do. Now, I got somebody backstage coming up. I gotta do a little bit of protection because if it is who I believe it is, it's still their first time coming up here. So I just got to be sure. I'm bringing them on stage right now. We gonna give the mic to I guess this is how do you pronounce this? Luck Seven? Is this Lucky Seven? How do you pronounce it? I just brought you up. Well, how do you pronounce your name? The gentleman. Oh, now he disappeared. Okay, so
Oh, we got off
yeah.
control.
Yeah, I'm saying you cover the screen, then you let them up, then they just disappear all of a sudden. That's probably just a
Ban him,
troll.
Roger.
Yeah, it's
Ban
probably
him.
just a troll. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Listen, I'm telling y'all, man, Ashley turned around from that screen after getting terminated, looked right at her significant other and said, "Can you believe they just fired me?" I'm telling you.
Kev C, the background of the other guy that was giving the video, the way he talked about it, he did not mention her. She said that she lived in a nice neighborhood. She just recently got a Mercedes and she purchased a vacation home in Colorado.
You
He would
know
have
that shit.
mentioned, what's it again?
Yeah, I mean
You
that all
know her.
that detail is what kind of made me somewhat suspicious of what was being presented there. I mean, how do you know all that, and how do you know what it just kind of came off as being somewhat
Well,
fictitious
that
the way
Guru,
that was presented.
Guru's right.
yeah. I mean,
Guru,
honestly, I do say you got to look at information. You know what I'm saying? Not just presentation, because there's a lot of stuff that I see people do things with, and the first question I'll come up with is, how did you know that?
Guru is
Can,
right, but it doesn't.
you gotta start over. LeBron is the greatest because you was going in and out. We didn't hear. You need to start over. Can you hear me?
As far
Right.
as I'm concerned, this video can be AI.
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, Mike.
We didn't
Yes, I
hear
can. It
you,
was the best thing I heard all show.
bro. We didn't hear you. Whatever statement you just made, you got to make it over. We didn't get your statement.
No, I was agreeing with Black Ulu. I was saying like there were some details that were mentioned that it's like you got to either know this person or it was just filler information. Like how you know she put her head down on the desk after the interview after they fired her. Like how do you know that? How do you know what she was thinking? Did you interview her and ask her what she was thinking? Like it sounded like narration. That's why I said it was a poor narration at best. But the video itself was still good because you know it was obvious that the guy was saying, "Hey, you still on camera." So
You see,
What?
I still refuse to believe that an innocent, beautiful, pure-blooded, pink toe, pink toe, pink toe, with long hair would get punished over a nigga bitch. As far as I'm concerned, this story is AI. I don't know what y'all are talking about.
Right. For those looking for the video, when I mentioned that there's a video that we're talking about, I put those videos in the description. So just look in the description of this one, and y'all will be able to reference the video that we are discussing. Okay, so y'all will know. All you gotta do, look at the description of this, and boom, you'll find it in there. Okay, and now I'm gonna say seeing Ashley go down like this was a treat for me because I like the way Robert had came through and handled her at the end of the day, and I know Robert probably had his reasoning for making it that strong, that swift, that blunt. But I still enjoyed it though. I mean, real talk. The story of how it went down, I enjoyed that. Now, the person who's narrating this, he's either a company insider or maybe just somebody related to a company insider, just relaying information he heard. Because, truth be told, you do have to ask yourself, how would he know this information? And I do that a lot of times. It's a lot of stuff that I don't use because people use such made up stuff. Because you know, looking at them and who they are is like, how can you even come to these conclusions? You don't have enough information to do that. So I bypass a lot of stuff. But this one was just kind of funny to me. So I said, no, I'm using this one. you know, there was enough that we can see that happened to for us to talk about this the way we are. So I got enough information. I know Ashley is real. You see her name right there on the screen. We see her last name blotted out, which I can understand why the person who presented this would do that. You don't want to get in trouble with Ashley and then mess around and get a lawsuit right now. I totally get all that. You could see people trying to save Ashley by telling her your mic ain't muted, girl. Your mic ain't muted. So we know this is a real event. We know this is a real event. And then if you want to research it, which I usually won't do heavy research into stuff that ain't just automatically made public. I don't be digging in people's stuff. I just use stuff that's put out there to the public. But they actually gave you a company name. So if you want to research, you technically could. You can research all this stuff because they put the company name out there at the end of the day. I ain't gonna do all that because I don't dig up people's stuff. If your stuff is presented as public information, I use that, but I don't do digging on people. That's not me. You know what I'm saying? I watch other stuff that's been made public, but I don't go around digging in people's background. That's just because I ain't trying to do a gossip show. That's not what I'm on, y'all. I ain't doing gossip. I'm doing stuff that's real and stuff with a point. And I think it is a very good point to notice that Ashley and the people she worked with are some racist folks. It's not just Ashley, which to me is how it's presented. But anybody who, if you really thought Ashley did something that was that bad, you're not gonna try to say it. Because Lord have mercy, let it have been me, y'all. I would have told everybody in that chat, leave Ashley alone. Let her say what she got to say. Let her get it off her chest. Obviously, it came to a boiling point, and she needs to get it out.
But here's you're not as a CEO, you're not gonna let that happen for a number of reasons, Roger. Because I get your perspective of it. If I'm the CEO of the company, I'm more concerned about actually maintaining. Because look, hell, my whole senior staff can't be fucking racist, right? Like, and very often that is true. But are they competent programmers or managers or analysts? And if I'm a new CEO, at least for the time they're here, I've got to depend on these people doing their work. Now, I might seek to, I think as Truth Teller described earlier, I might seek to replace them. I'm not necessarily trying to replace them all at the same time and as abruptly without being prepared to immediately replace them with someone that's better. So even though I might personally want to know who the racists are, as a CEO, I'm really more concerned about maintaining the stability of the enterprise. I want to limit the damage that's being done by what what she did to her. And then if I need to deal with other people who think can behave similar to her, I'm better prepared to do it than in this sort of ad hoc scenario where there are almost 300 people listening and it could be a damn free for all of the clan and shit online. So as a CEO, I'm not going to necessarily want that to go beyond her in that particular moment.
Well, you know what? I think that's a great point. And I'm going to say, yes, I have my particular perspective, but I'm not the CEO of the company. And whoever did do something, this only went 43 seconds. So obviously, when Ashley started talking, whoever the people were that could cut her mic obviously went into effect. There's a few steps that you have to do. 43 seconds ain't that bad. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna give whoever had the ability to cut her mic. I think they jumped on it pretty quick. It was only 43 seconds. I think people
Well, we
forget how
definitely
much
got enough
damage you
to
can do in
hang
43 seconds.
Ashley.
What's that?
We definitely got enough to hang Ashley. We definitely got enough to hang Ashley. That's for damn sure.
Anybody else got something to say?
Yeah.
Ashley was just very damaging in those 43 seconds. But whoever was on the job.
Notice.
Go ahead.
Notice the CEO ended the meeting without at all referencing to the incident. See, that's a CEO. That's what a
That was
CEO.
very smart. That was very smart. Veronica was
I'm
on
not
point.
adding any other evidence. I'm not adding anything to what happened here. I'm just abruptly ending the meeting, and that's it. I'm clean from any involvement in any sort of response to her, anything like that. Nothing. I've added nothing to be used in any sort of debate or arbitration or judicial, possible judicial activity or whatever. Perfect way to end. Perfect way to deal with that situation. I'm not a part of it. I'm not a party to any legal action involved in it.
Yeah, Veronica kept her hands clean. So for y'all who think that Veronica may not have, I'm not questioning the decision to bring in Veronica because she was brought from the outside. She was not a person promoted. She was not a person promoted through the company. So I'm not questioning that decision. And I think Black, who you just articulated exactly one of the reasons they brought her in to do what she did, and she handled the situation as best you could under those scenarios. In that scenario, that's the best way you could handle that. And whatever other business we have, we'll just wait for the next meeting to get that stuff done. This kind of took precedent at the end of the day, and we gonna handle it quickly. And I got to shout out to them for how quickly they handled this situation. Because as soon as they brought this to an end, according to the story, she had to deal with Robert immediately. And the access was already cut off. So Robert and the legal team, boy, shout out to y'all. That's all I can say. Shout out to y'all. I will clap for you if you can hit me. Is the company bad? No, I'm not saying the company is bad. You hire some white people, I'm gonna say you probably will get a few bad apples in there. Okay. But at least from a public standpoint, the company is saying, hey, we don't tolerate this type of stuff, which I believe is the right message for them to send as a company. And it's just better to throw Ashley under the bus at this particular point. I do think Ashley's going to end up being okay because, again, y'all, she's a white woman in tech. Somebody going to find a spot for her. She's probably already working right now, in a nice, new, lucrative situation, you know. But she did kind of force their hand, in my opinion. I just don't see any way that you could deal with this scenario and Ashley don't get fired. I don't see it. So I think the company did what it had to do, whether they liked it or not. Now I'm jokingly saying Robert is probably Ashley's cousin. Even though it could be because, new companies, you get in quick, you get your friends and family in there. All that really could be the case. But we got somebody else coming up that could be a familiar. I believe it's a familiar, but we're gonna be on the safe side. I ain't getting no bad vibes or nothing, but we're gonna be on the safe side anyway. And let me do my thing and bring you up. I think this is one of our favorites. I do believe it's one of our favorites. So Dominus, you have the mic.
Well, hello everyone. I used to go by the name of Elder Blood. Been watching you for a very long time, Roger, and you are the highlight of my 9 o'clock start in the morning almost every day.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you saying that. Appreciate you saying that. And welcome to the show.
And thank you for having me. Well, on this particular subject, I figured I'd call in because I, I guess I'm going to play the devil's advocate with this white woman, black woman, um, corporate America debacle. We usually look at things from a black man's perspective, dating back to slavery, from a black woman's perspective, dating back to slavery, or even a white man's perspective, being a plantation master, colonizer perspective. But rarely have I ever noticed we would take a white woman's perspective, whether it's time past or modern day, because she's been a participant in these movements, social, politically. Okay, tell them just wait on me. Um, in the job market, whether it's education or corporate America, these white women have been there the entire time. What I think is overlooked is that white women were put on a pedestal. They were usually kept in the house, didn't have to do very much. They gave out little orders here and there, but in a lot of cases they were captive to their prospective white men, white races. Although they had privilege, pristine authority over black people. In many cases, they were still captives and servants in their own prospective communities. Living in the white community with the white man, they still had to obey him and follow his rules. So, looking at it from a white woman perspective, she's basically been with this man, fighting this man, trying to get to the top of the rainbow, and still finds herself one step beneath him, which from a biblical standpoint, I think that's proper. But of course, when they see the black woman superseding the black man in almost every category and placing herself right next to this white man. And now this black woman gonna come over and boss her around too. Doesn't matter if it's corporate America, doesn't matter if it's at the academic colleges, uh, government job. It doesn't matter. I'm certain that white woman feels a certain kind of way towards this black woman because I would think in her purview, she's seeing herself being ousted and kicked aside, reduced, just so that this black woman can have preference, authority, power, and even be closer to this white man. And if we're just gonna be honest about it, if we reverse that scenario and we had a bunch of black men CEOs that had money and power and had companies and say black men were running everything and black women felt entitled to be the next one in line next to the black man, and then all of a sudden we make this policy where we're constantly putting white women in higher positions next to the black man. She's the vice president, she's the CEO, she gets to talk to the owner. The black women don't. The white woman get to talk to the black man. He's the white woman is this black man's top confidant, and black women have to take their pecking order from this white woman. Black women will lose their mind, and we see it on a smaller scale whenever we talk about the NFL players. White women lose their mind because these black men are picking or selecting white women, and we can accept that. That's normal. That's to be expected. Although we kind of we kind of chastise black women because we talk about, well, you didn't work with that black man to get to that position. You want a finished product, whereas a white woman, when he didn't have nothing, 9 times out of 10, she was willing to work with him. So we do chastise black women in a way, but on a grand scale of things, when these black women complain about these rich and wealthy black guys selecting white women for whatever reason, we normalize black women being upset because black women don't want to be a second fiddle to the white woman when it comes to the black man, but yet we start this civil rights, DEI, all these other things when the roles are reversed. Now you got the white man that's in charge. The black woman wants to be next in line to him. And then when a white woman has a problem, then we want to go into this racism antic and beat up on the poor little white woman when I think it's normal. And I'm real deep into the Bible, and I really believe God was right. And a lot of time we as men are wrong. And when God created that black woman, he told her what her job was. That was to serve black men, work for us. So whenever it comes to a black woman working for a white man and things don't work out, for me, in the way I see it, she should have been working with and for the black man to start off with. So there's nothing wrong with that white woman working for that white man. She's supposed to. But our black women don't want to work for us. She wants to usurp this white woman position being next in line with the white man. But she won't do the same thing for us. So I think for black men, I think the way we look at a lot of things to me, it seems problematic. I think we're being
Well,
upset about the wrong thing a lot of times when it comes to that.
well, you bring it in an interesting dynamic in the conversation, which we gonna touch on. We gonna touch on. I was gonna say something because Chef is on me about that 2 minutes. So, but let me say this, y'all. Let me say this. Shout out to Landon yesterday, y'all. I didn't see this yesterday. Landon threw in another $2 yesterday, y'all. Put a hashtag slow roasting on there. Now, this was directed toward me when Gold P wouldn't let go of that sandwich situation. So he obviously directed that toward me. I see you, Landon. I didn't just not say something because it was toward me. I just didn't see it, my brother, and I do apologize for that. Now I'm gonna say something about this. LeBron is the greatest guy who we know he's sick based on the name he chose to use today. We know he's sick. Okay, so this is what the sick man said, y'all. The sick man said. Now he put $5 on it. He said, Roger's sandwich fund for broke women. Now he said this before the show started, so you know he ain't no good. He ain't no good.
He trying to help you out. He trying to help you out. He just that's your bait fund. That's your bait fund.
Yeah. Now, Elder Blood, this is you because I got two other cash apps that I believe are from you. It says, "Black women is the soil, white supremacy is the tree raised out of her soil," and he dropped $10. That was you, right, Elder Blood? Just to make sure I'm matching the names up right. Is he still here? Did he drop?
No, I'm here. I'm here. Go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
that was your cash app, correct?
Yes, it was.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm
I sent
matching
I
it.
sent you two, a $5 and a $10 one.
Yeah, that was the $10 I just read. I'm about to read the $5 one right now, and I appreciate it big time. He said the white man always has the right to hire white women first. Now I'm gonna say, y'all, that's a little bit of a different dynamic that he's bringing to the conversation. And I'm gonna say this. I'm totally fine with that because from realistically speaking, it's to each his own first. If I got to hire between my friend and my brother, I'm probably gonna give my brother the job first. Just is what it is. So I can understand that concept, and I don't have no issue with that. And I definitely can understand. Ashley was upset the whole time when Veronica got brought in because Veronica was an outsider. Y'all keep in mind, Veronica was the outsider according to the story. And Ashley been working there, so she's working her way up, and she did get that CEO position that she believes that she's entitled to that CEO position. If it's gonna go to somebody, why not me? If you're gonna bring in Veronica, why not give it to me first? I can totally understand why she would feel that way. Now the issue is we don't know the story behind why Veronica was picked over Ashley. Now I'm just gonna say, based on what we saw today in this little clip, Ashley didn't have a good sense to mute her mic. She's making a case against why she should be the CEO. I'm gonna say that she's making a very strong case of why she shouldn't be the CEO. And I know everybody may say, "Well, that's just a simple mistake." We got to realize it's a simple mistake in what situation though. You're going to a company-wide meeting and you don't mute your mic. Yes, technically a simple mistake, but that is a very egregious simple mistake. And if you want to be CEO, those just ain't the mistakes that you can make and it just be okay. You can't go to a company wide meeting and not mute your mic and start saying stuff that's anti-company. Because I am
Let
saying,
me
y'all,
say something about
well, go ahead, go ahead.
let me say something about business. You're not going to make a black woman a CEO of a small size company in the company of 200 employees. I mean, from a certain perspective, it sounds big, but it's really still very much a small size company. You're not going to make a black woman a CEO of a small tech company unless you believe she's a fucking rainmaker. That's the only reason you make her CEO of your company. Now, bigger company where a lot of it's pomp and circumstance, whatever the company is going to going to prevail regardless, IBM or some shit like that. Maybe you promote a black woman to that position, maybe not. But a company that size where you're still very much in the attempting to grow and become bigger stage, you only make her CEO if you genuinely believe she gonna bring down some rain. That's the only reason. So really, those white guys in that business situation, fuck Ashley. You know, they thinking like if this black D or whatever they think about her racially is gonna grow this company, fuck Ashley.
And you know what? I really believe is that too. I just don't believe that you running a tech company this size and you're gonna go outside the company to bring in Veronica if Veronica's not qualified. Veronica, quote unquote, could be there for DEI. I understand that. I just don't see this as the right situation to bring somebody
I doubt
in
about it.
under DEI. No, I'm saying people are gonna see that. I'm saying I don't believe at all this is the right situation where somebody gonna make a DEI play. This just ain't that
You
situation.
have too much to potential for a company that size. You have too much to potentially lose to just make a damn DEI hire.
Yeah, and on top of the answer Black Women's Sport, it's a tech company, which means that you understand, like I said,
Yeah.
it's a tech company, so it's like a very like vertically intellectual company. You get what I'm saying? So it's like as you get to senior software developers, principal developers, and like CTO, CIO, these things become like I'm saying, like really good people. So if she's a CEO, the guy did mention that our previous company, she did make the profit go, was it 5x or 4x,
Yeah.
which is very good as
She
a
was a
CEO.
rainmaker. She was a
Yeah,
rainmaker. She brought the rain. That's
Ashley
why
don't
they
want to hear
hired her.
that. Ashley don't want to hear that.
No, Ashley, sure don't
let
want to
me
hear that. Yeah, Ashley
let me
don't
say
care about what she did, and
let
that's
me
just
say
really what it come down to. It. Ashley don't care about what she did. I'm Ashley. I'm
Yeah.
white. Put me in.
Ashley's
let me
still a woman,
Which
and
is
your
also
facts
why
ain't
you
got nothing to
fire
do with
her
her
ass.
feelings.
gentlemen,
Which is
let me
also
say
why
something
you
real
fire
quick.
her ass. Because we bring in a rainmaker, we bring in somebody to grow this business, and you can't control your racism to the extent that you're gonna spread it all over the damn company. Bitch, get out of here.
Black group has a way of putting things. I'm still saying that. But go ahead, say what you was trying to say. Niggas with vaginas, you trying to say something? Go ahead.
You must have this company. You must have been. It was very sad when they fired her. You know what I mean? I want you to imagine this blonde Rapunzel hair, pink toes, and I say it again, pink toes. Let me say it again, pink toes with her nails painted red, and she walks into the office every day. What a stunt town. And we're gonna lose all of that. All of them good pleasure. Because you know me. I'm a sucker for them, you know? When I see pink toes, I feel closer to God. You know? And we're gonna lose all that because of nigga bitch. Come on, man. That's not fair. What are
Brother.
Listen,
my eyes?
nigga, this Uncle Ruckus grandson, I swear.
I mean, they gave her 2 weeks extra of pay. They gave her 2 weeks extra of pay, which is
But,
more than they're legally
but
required to do.
Roger, what about them pink toes painted in red, man? Imagine when you
He
walk in this
sound like
office every morning.
he he. Do you all remember when Undercover Brother had got seduced by a white she devil? Y'all remember that?
Man, man.
He sound like he been captured by white she devil.
What? Well, you know what? I'm totally okay if anybody gonna come up here and play devil advocates on any given day. But I am gonna say, y'all, this is a forced hand situation. At the end of it, if this wasn't caught the way it was caught, maybe it could be threw under the rug a little bit. If it was just a small amount of people, but you did this on a company wide meeting that obviously everybody's required to watch, which is why they record the meetings. You know what I'm saying? If we believe the stuff that the narrator said, this is stuff everybody required to watch. I mean, it is what it is. You in the forced hands, you know. And like I said, I was saying it jokingly. Robert could be her actual cousin. What Robert gonna do at the end of the day? He got to do what he got to do to save the company. At this particular point, Ashley done made it where the company needs to be saved. It just is what it is at that point. You know, the company still got to make money. The company still got to operate. The company has to have good PR. The company got to take a stand against certain things because the internet is out there now, and anything that happens could find its way to the internet, and you never know what's going to become the next big story, the next viral story. So the company had to do what they had to do. You know, I don't
Hey,
mind him
can
playing
I ask
devil's
Elder
advocate, but
Bud? Can I ask Elder Bud a question that's personal, but it is for the purposes of your channel? Um, Elder Blood, were you born on or before 1964?
I was born in 1972.
72.
Dang,
Okay. All right.
he close to
All
my
right.
age.
I
Yeah.
mean, I understand his point too about because I don't think this is something black people really think about. You got to think about that white woman who's supposed to be connected to that white man. And even if it is a DEI situation, that white woman gonna have a problem with black people being put in front of her. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's my point.
Mm-hmm.
So I do get
Mm-hmm.
that, you know, wholeheartedly, and that's why I said earlier, you know,
Yeah.
it's a bunch of white people out there that got black managers and whatnot that they report to. They live in America. America been anti-black man since before its inception, and they got a black boss. And we don't think about that probably too often, but that probably really bugs a lot of white people.
Can
You
I
know?
interject and say
Okay,
something here?
sometimes the business prevails over everything else. Uh, Red Lobster got a 37-year-old black guy who's the CEO that saved that company. 37-year-old brother, totally revolutionizing that entire corporation, and apparently is revolutionizing the entire restaurant industry, or at least chain restaurant industry,
Yeah.
with
I
his
was thinking about
approaches to the business.
Can I
At
can
a
I
certain
and
point,
interject?
the business takes precedent. The business, the survival of the business, the ability of the business to grow takes precedent over everything else.
yeah. And I just want to say real quickly, shout out to that brother. I was actually thinking about doing a story on him because I heard about that myself. But go ahead, Elder Blood.
Yeah, somebody
Okay.
who folks would call him a YN, and he's saving a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
He's too old to be a YN.
And
Too old.
I agree with Black Guru, but we're talking about a black female CEO. And note, he said a black man saved Red Lobster. Black men been saving America since America's inception,
I
but
mean, that's
we
a good
don't get
point
the
too.
credit. A lot of times when it's talked when it's historically when it's talked about the success black people in America, they always mix the black men with the black women. So it's always a joint success whenever it concerns a black man, but it's a black woman success when it's just her, and we don't get all the accolades and acknowledgement and benefits and rewards when it comes to black women doing something. But whenever black men do something, all of a sudden we got to share all of our grandiose success with black women. I think that kind of dilutes the importance of black men in America and black men's contribution not only to America but to the world at large. Setting that aside, I want to make this point concerning the topic of today. I spent 27 years in the military, and there are a lot of black women there that got their civil rights, affirmative action, DEI promotions, and they spent quite a bit of that time in the bathrooms, in the bedrooms, up under the desk of, I'm just gonna say, white men. And the white women knew this. And they would see these black women getting these promotions, but they also knew how they got those promotions. Now, I'm not saying every case was that way, but for every one black woman that got it the right way, you could best believe there's another 4 or 5 that got it the wrong way. My grandmother used the term laying on your back. And these white women knew that. And a lot of times, the white women would vent to me after working with them for a while. They would tell me all types of things that these black women were doing with white men to get those promotions. And the white women confided in me and said that's why they didn't respect those black women. They didn't want to associate with those black women. A lot of times they really didn't know their jobs. They were just there because they were doing extracurricular stuff. And so for almost a 27-year period, I watched this intensively, and it happened over and over and over and over again without fail. The second thing that was disheartening about these black women that in corporate America, for me, military, that got these high positions, they treated black men like crap. If you needed something, you go to them. You may as well had poured gasoline on yourself and set yourself on fire. But the white women, they may have been racist, but when it was about business and you went to them, they took care of business. They didn't give you a whole bunch of foolishness. They didn't give you a whole bunch of attitude. They didn't give you a whole bunch of lies. They didn't give you a whole bunch of excuses. They did their damn job whether they like you or not. But you didn't get that from the black women. They would talk crazy to you. They make you feel like you were wrong for asking them to do their damn job. But they're the ones in the position, whether it's the supervisor, the CEO position, or the commander here, commander there. And so after I retired, I dealt with it so much in the military. Now that I'm in the civilian sector and I'm dealing with corporate people, I've realized over the last 8 years that black women are doing this stuff right in your face, right here in corporate civilian America, and they even worse than some of the ones I had to deal with in the military. So I guess I'm just a person that have a different perspective because I actually talk to people and I paid attention to these things for so long. So I don't give black women an excuse. I think making
you're
excuses for
not
black
you're
women is
not gonna make
something that we got to stop.
you're not gonna make a black woman CEO of a small tech firm because she sucked dick good. You just ain't gonna do that.
Yeah, and I'm saying in today's show, because y'all only gonna get so many of these shows about unsupervised white people. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not my focal point. You only gonna get so many of these. Veronica hasn't done anything wrong that we know of. We are dealing with the story of Ashley. And truth be told, Ashley has made a case in her actions of why she shouldn't be CEO. Because the point I was making about her going to a company-wide meeting and not muting her mic, that's just not a good CEO move. Like, what CEO does this? You know, this ain't the type of move a CEO is supposed to make. Now, remember, we laughed at the guy who got caught with the head of HR. We laughed at him because you know they you know because he did something that CEOs ain't supposed to do. We laughed at him because it's funny. It may not be funny for him, but it's funny for the rest of us because we expect the CEO to carry themselves in a better light than that. That's just the expectations when you are the CEO of a good sized company. We laughed at him. We like, why is the CEO being this stupid? You know, he could have played that off in a much better way than what he did. He looked like a fool at the end of the day. And I'm gonna say Ashley just put herself in the same situation. She put herself in such a bad situation that there was nothing that they could do but fire her. She literally forced their hand. You know, she could be related to somebody, one of the owners or something like that, but she forced their hand. What else could I do but fire her if I'm in the position to have to make these decisions? I don't know what else. I don't know what other conclusions I would have came to either. I probably would have did the exact same thing, man. Make sure everything she got is cut off. Give her no access immediately. And I know good and well, if it's me, before that business day is over with, somebody is already on their way to her home to pick up our stuff. I'm not leaving you with that stuff at all. Give me all of it. All our phones, all our computers, all our files, all our everything. Make sure you clean out everything she got that belongs to us, period. But my thing is, I'm not looking at this just opposed to what Veronica is doing. Veronica just ain't the story today. You know, Veronica could be one of those type of people. We don't know any of that though. We just know she's CEO and she was brought in from an outside company based on what the narrator said. You know, now I believe that part is definitely true because that's something he could know. Because all you got to do is look at the company's background. Where did Veronica come from? Did she come up through the company, or was she brought in from outside? See, that part I can see anybody just randomly verify, so I can accept that. You know, there's like Black who mentioned. There's certain details. It's like, man, how do you even know this type of stuff? But something like that you can verify. That Veronica was brought in to be CEO. And again, y'all, this is a tech company. I'm not saying anything about anybody else. I'm not saying anything bad about any other company, but I did mention tech company, healthcare, stuff in aerospace. It's like those you have to be really on point with that type of stuff. If you're running a security firm, there's more subjective things you can do. If you're running a restaurant, there's more subjective things you can do. But some stuff is just ones and zeros and they got to be in the right place. And a tech company just fits that mold. You cannot play with something like that. You got to understand it to be in charge of it. It is what it is. So I believe Veronica was technically the right woman for the job. What her background is, we don't know. But she off the hook because it's the unsupervised white people. Ashley has proven to me she should not have been the supervisor, or she should not have been the CEO. And I think she justified the company's decision to put her in a different position rather than CEO. That's what I believe that she did. She literally justified their reasoning of not to make her a CEO. I'm not saying she can't do good work and whatever it is that she truly does, but she ain't the person to be a CEO. She just don't have that in her, and that's okay, you know. But y'all, we are past the 3-hour mark, so let me do this. Elder Blood dropped off, but niggas with vaginas. Any last statement you want to make on this one?
I put myself in a better position. Few more seconds.
You gonna make it clear for us, huh?
Okay, here we
Are,
are.
are you
My
adding at the
last my
name
last
call?
statement. My last statement is I cannot remember. I cannot let my little pink toe go like that, man. I told you already. When I see pink toes, I feel closer to God. You know? So you you gotta let my let my Miss Ashley go, man. Ashley did nothing wrong, man. Ashley's a sweet, sweet, sweet little girl. All she did was working, man. All she does is working. She puts on her black little dress, her toenail painted red. She goes to work every day. She puts in great, great, great work for the company. Okay? She doesn't
Oh,
deserve none of that.
So God save Ashley, huh?
Over a black woman. No, she doesn't deserve any of that. Okay? As far as I'm concerned, I stand with Ashley. Justice for Ashley. Ashley deserves her job back, a promotion, and a pay raise. Thank you, Ashley.
I tell you, justice for Ashley. Didn't think I hit that one today, but hey, it's what it is. No placeholder. Any last words you want to give on this?
Yeah, thank you for having me, Roger. I'm also in agreement with Uru about about how black men find themselves in position of power. I'm saying yes, there are certain elements I agree with that there's a concubine level to it. You know what I'm saying, but not at a certain level. There's only so far you can take advantage of that. You know what I'm saying, and also yes, it is theoretically speaking, white women do want to prefer to be in the position of power in the company because quote unquote the white men are the CEOs, but the white men that are CEOs do not want white women to be CEO. That's one of the reasons why they basically make other women it's in basically become CEOs because I can have my cake and eat it too. I get another man to lose his woman because she's working for me, which makes him less competitive, and then you get to sit around and be Peggy Sue, and you can make babies. So we win. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the whole idea of like white women feeling like because white men have power, they should be CEO next in line. But that's not even how white men think. They don't even give a shit about that. But yeah.
All right, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Uh, LeBron is the greatest. Lord have mercy. Do you have any last words that you want to say?
he said it again, and he praised the Lord. Boy, I tell you, boy, it's a wonderful Wednesday, I swear. Um, Ashley taught us a lesson. Um, how you behave in private one day will become public. You just better hope it's in a environment that is well suited for you not to have to do damage control. So y'all be careful out there and have a wonderful Wednesday.
All right. Black Crew, I gave you the last word. You've been instrumental in this particular episode. I appreciate you big time, and I definitely
Thank you.
appreciate your wisdom. And I know I couldn't afford you. I could hire you, but I couldn't afford you. So I always appreciate you showing up. Uh, any last
No,
words you have
I
to say on this
appreciate the consideration, the extra consideration you give me. I mean, it's an interesting discussion. Obviously, it says something about Ashley that she allow her personal feelings to essentially certainly derail her career interests. Maybe worse than that, maybe not as bad, but appear to at least temporarily derail that. Definitely says something about whether she should be the primary officer of a growing tech company or any growing company for that matter. Um, and like I said, I believe you bring in if you're going to make anyone a CEO of a growing tech company, it's going to be somebody you genuinely believe is going to either grow the company in some major way, in some major direction that you don't think you can without her, or you got a super duper manager and you got some issues that you need to resolve internally that requires a particularly astute manager and an expert in organization and directing the company. So it probably says a lot about Veronica that she got put in that position.
Was that it, Black Hole? Yeah, I
They
think we
got him.
lost him. Yeah, I think we lost him, y'all. Well, I'm gonna say this, man. Ashley, if you was able to maintain that second vacation home, you know, if you had if you had a little trouble bouncing back, I might be free this Friday night.
Hey,
No,
don't talk about Ashley like that. I don't want nobody to find out that I'm sucking on her dirty white pink toes. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody to find out about that. Okay.
I'm just saying I might be free this Friday night. That's all. If she could have kept that straight. No, I'm totally kidding. I'm totally kidding. Ashley, I think you did a great and fantastic job because I think you gave me great material to do a great show. So shout out to Ashley losing her job just to give me a good show to do. Shout out to you. I appreciate it. No, I have no concern for Ashley. I think Ashley's probably in a very good position right now. She is a white woman in tech, which I have been stressing the whole show. So I think Ashley's fine. But I do appreciate you giving me something to do a good show on. Shout out to you, Ashley. Long live the habitual line steppers. I'm Roger. I'm right. And I'm out.